the team's almost ready to rock and roll, so we don't have a lot of time. If you don't know them already, they've been conquering their way through the lower brackets, as has APG. But first, let's take a quick squiz at the side of EN. Right, and that's EGE Esports. They were worried about fatigue, but they still look calm, cool, collected. Do you think they have what it takes to see it through to the end? Two of them are ex-PVD players who had to run through a similar situation.
Yeah, definitely. I think they've definitely got what it takes. And forgetting about the other veterans on there, I mean, you've got, Strike, you've got Chelsea, aka Laka. I mean, who doesn't remember Laka if you come from that era of Dota? I mean, these guys have been around for ages. So they definitely are very experienced in LANs. I just feel like because APG's had a break, they've also played 3 games, but they're also more used to being in the lower bracket. They have that edge to them. But do I think they will triumph over Energy?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I think winning has this energizing effect. You know, you feel so
energizing,
good after you win.
Is that like a pun?
Like after you win, you're like, yeah, I can play 1,000 more games of this.
I can do it again.
Yeah.
It's like that bad midnight Dota where you just win a really cool game. It's like, yeah, I'll do one more and then end up losing terribly. And it's like, damn, I should have gone to bed. You know?
Like as soon as you win a game, you feel awake, you feel alive. You're like, I can keep doing this forever. So I think like, especially when you win like
EGE Esports feels like going to bed right now.
I think they're fine. I'm sure they could play another best of 5 right now. Our like 90-minute games, every game. Let's do this.
As long as it's always Hellbird casting, I'm okay with it.
I don't know. You know, sometimes Hellbird says weird things. Like he doesn't like anti-mage Dota.
And he picks a Naga Siren, you know, those type of weird things.
Well, I can tell you one thing, we certainly don't have 90 minutes. So without any further ado, let me introduce you to APG, the lower bracket kings. Good old APG, that rash you cannot get rid of. We've called them the fallen heroes here before, but look at them. They're proud, they're hungry apparently, and they're happy.
They
certainly are prepared for this, and they've always managed to do this.
Yeah.
They've always managed to go, oh no, we're useless, we're hopeless, and then the casters follow suit, and then suddenly they just start taking team after team after team.
Yeah.
And does it look like EGE Esports is in their sights?
Possibly. I made the analogy earlier about them being basically under false promise.
Yeah.
So the loser bracket is always false promise for APG. Whether or not it allows them to live or not, this is what we have to determine, like in the game.
Yep, the draft is already starting off.
Wow.
So Phalanx better put those chips down, buddy. Because you can't draft potatoes here. My dear girl, what do you see coming?
That was a nasty reference.
Referencing his chips. I love chips.
Yeah, ban out that Chelsea Nyx Assassin for sure. Like, you don't want to play against Chelsea Nyx Assassin. You have to ban out, of course, the Spirit Breaker, which has been picked up quite a bit by Flanks as well. He's been playing really well with that.
Well, let's focus on to
keep in mind,
Chelsea.
This is still a best of 3.
Yeah.
It's still a best of 3, yes. So we are going to see more progressive Dota, but you can see APGs, they're banning out Chelsea right now. It's like, first Nyx, now the Legion Commander.
I think like the way that looking at the stats about how both of these teams have been playing Dota, APG have been playing extremely aggressively, trying to get as many kills as possible.
Yeah.
EGE have been doing so, but not necessarily where they want to. They've been trying to take more objectives and stuff like that. Also, major shout out to our main man Sargon, who's been collecting all of the stats for us.
Absolutely.
Like we know a lot more about this game because of him.
Big thumbs up to Sargon up there.
Like, and probably you could like this Ricky. This is the first time that's actually been let through for EGE.
Oh, yeah.
It's literally been banned every single time, only against them. Whereas APG, I think they've had Rasta in the one game.
I think we all know why.
Yeah, yeah.
Why?
Well, our eyes might be a privilege to the Odoo factor on the Ricky, but Habibi also plays this hero exceptionally well.
I believe the term is the Odoo treatment when he
The
picks
Odoo
up
treatment.
a Riki.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also Habibi can play this hero outright, and now we're going to be even more privileged to seeing this puck.
I'm really surprised at how little we've seen Puck in the first phase. I feel like he's one of the best heroes like in the mid lane right now.
Especially to control, like the mid to early game especially, and then late game it just scales so well. I mean, you get a ridiculous boost at level 25, which is not that hard for Puck to get.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just something that can scale well throughout the game, and I am surprised we haven't seen it more.
I mean, we saw Depi could do with it on XTC. He like absolutely like basically won a game alone versus Energy using this Puck hero. So now it's their turn to try and make use of it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, also TKC is also quite well versed in this hero.
So they probably need right now a hero on APG that can take early fights. So we've seen Sand King, Centaur. We haven't really seen a lot of Earthshaker, which is like the biggest surprise for me. But
I think
one
we
of those
might
two
see
heroes.
it. Yeah, I think we might see it. Yeah.
I hope we see it. Like Earthshaker is one of the best heroes versus Puck. It's basically impossible to play this hero. They're gonna get Centaur instead. So this has basically become the replacement for what we'd expect normally from the Earthshaker in this game.
Yeah, I feel like Earthshaker just contributes slightly a bit more right now in this current fighting patch. I mean, even if he doesn't do much, it takes one good Echo Slam and you win a fight. You know, it's just one. I mean, it's so good against high ground as well. It's just for me like it's more impactful than a Centaur Warrior. A Centaur Warrior used to be that hero. I feel like Earthshaker's taken over that role.
I think it can work though with if you have Centaur and Rasta. This is I think the main reason I was hoping for Earthshaker to counter Puck, but with Centaur you can still do it because if you use the Stampede, right, and Shadow Shaman sitting in the trees, you can immediately come out and hex the Puck before he's able to get into the phase shift, and then you can guaranteed kill him, even though the Centaur Stomp is a bit long in terms of its animation cost. So I think this can still work out for them, depending on what they ban.
The Shadow Shaman's also good at controlling the Puck early as well. If he they never stack disables in this level of Dota, but you have to remember the Ricky.
Yeah.
It's going to be there to smoke cloud any combo they might have. It's going to be the annoyance in APG's life. And then Puck obviously has quite an evasive hero in herself, and she also has a silence. But if they do catch unawares, it's a pretty easy pick off on a Puck.
That faceless van, yes, that faceless void.
It's a purple.
Van.
It's a
there
purple
we go.
van.
Put a sentence together, ladies and gentlemen. From the side of Aperture Gaming is rather surprising because they've been picking it up on Conspiracy and finding wins along
I think
the
they're
way.
the only team to have actually made use of this hero thus far. I think it's also one of those situations where if you think a particular hero is very good up again, like just in general, then you have strats that work around that hero. You're more liable to ban a hero that you believe is good rather than what the enemy might pick. So I think it could be one of those situations. And now they remove... this is like trauma from the last game. They see Puck, they immediately ban the Draw Ranger.
Okay, but now Energy needs to either pick up or ban the Anti-Mage because now they've banned out the Void, which is Conspiracy's his comfort hero.
Yeah.
I don't see them picking up a Jug here on the side of APG. They're banning out the Drow, so leaving that out of the equation. Don't want to play against that. Obviously, it was really hard against Bravado, even though they won that game. But do they pick up the Anti-Mage now again? Because this is the one game that they really won convincingly against Bravado was with this Anti-Mage, and it was a similar ban.
It is possible, actually, because Anti-Mage can deal with Puck fairly effectively. The only problem that I have with Anti-Mage is like it can struggle against Ricky in the early game, but overall it's still
good.
Okay. And it's very good against Venom Monster as well.
Yeah.
Like pretty much all of Venom Monster's damage is nullified.
It's kind of like they have to pick it now.
I don't know if they have to. Like
I feel like they do. It's because either they're going to ban it or it's not going to be an option for them anymore.
It's an Anti-Mage into Puck, into Ricky. There's plenty of silence out there that's not...
Yeah, but that's easily evaded. Early game, yes, but then once it gets to late, you don't pick Anti-Mage to win an early game. You pick Anti-Mage to win the late game. That's the thing. You pick him to rat, you pick him to do all these things, and look, he can fight early enough as well, and he's got that spell shield which helps him out. So, and he's also got a blink. It's not that thing. And then you can always pick up an Aghanim Scepter as well, evade a lot of the stuff that's happening, and we're going to see a Kunkka.
This is really good against Puck though, because like...
No, but it's classic Shadow Shaman Kunkka. I mean, when have we not seen those two together?
Right? And it kind of forces, like, whenever you pick Kunkka in against the Puck, it forces the Puck to have to choose what he's going to phase shift. You can't phase shift everything. It's either you dodge being called back by the X or you dodge where the torrent might be placed. And a good enough Kunkka is able to actually predict exactly where you are and get you in the combo no matter what you do. So I think this can still work out for APG. The thing about Venom, like, I'm just looking at this Venom now, because Centaur, I think this is one of those games he's going to have to rush the early pipe. Because all the damage right now that's coming out from Energy is primarily magic-based. So if he's just able to get himself into a position where he can protect his team from that damage, it should work out for them. And they have decent tower push as well.
I mean, like, Centaurs generally go for a casual cloak anyway, but I think you're right. He has to go for that full pipe before he gets his Blink Dagger and rely on Stampede in the early stages because they're going to have to deal with this magic damage somehow. It's just a bit too much.
They still need ways to get to Venomonster though, because like right now they don't have any like direct catch on top of Sand King. All right, they're gonna get their Sand King.
Yeah, they're gonna get the Sand King, but they do have catch in the form of the Kunkka. I mean, the Shadow Shaman's also pretty great with Disable, and then you've got the Saint Tortoise Stampede if they really need to chase after someone. So they have like enough catch, I feel, to get to it. And I mean, Venomancer, once you get on top of him, he's extremely squishy. He's easy to kill.
But they have so much team fight on energy.
Yeah.
Like if you jump Venomonster, their counter initiation between Puck, Ricky, and Sand King is crazy high.
Yeah, it's insane.
So
it is insane.
I don't know. Like APG, I think right now they need something that they need not necessarily more stun, but they need more team fight ability. Void would have been great for them, but they removed it themselves.
Yeah.
Like we've seen SF being banned this tournament, right? But we haven't seen it just yet.
Oh, Huskar.
Right, so what's it going to be? Is Energy going to ban Dazzle or Oracle?
Either way, they're in trouble.
I think Dazzle's the...
This is actually shockingly good, because normally when you pick Huskar, you kind of have to pick a healing hero with it. You might not have to this game, because looking at the other heroes from Energy, pretty much all their damage at this point in time is magic damage, which Huskar is extremely good against.
Yeah.
You could even run this, you don't have to run this Huskar mid versus Puck, because I think he loses the right click damage no matter what you do, so I think you can even put this in the safe lane.
Energy's not even concerned, they're banning out a sniper.
Yeah, they know actually that this is definitely safe lane Huskar, because they know that there's no way that you're going to run Huskar mid versus Puck, because Huskar's going to get demolished. So you put this Huskar safe lane. So they're just looking for the more favorable mid matchup by taking out the sniper. Okay. And it's an ACG classic, the sniper for him. So I'm glad they banned that out.
Oh, the cheese strat is real.
What's their alternative here?
They need some damage now, or a controller. Yeah.
I feel like Invoker can work, because if you have Invoker, you have a situation where you can actually deal damage with the Sunstrike. Pure damage onto Huskar can actually kill him. Yeah. And this Puck can, not very well, but it can go off lane up against this combo right now from APG and sort of survive. And then you leave Invoker in the mid against, we don't know yet, but APG have to pick their mid last. They ban out the Ursa at the very end, so they're trying to avoid being rushed over. And also Ursa is one of the best heroes versus Huskar in general. The Furious Hives absolutely destroys them.
We can see, I mean, I normally pick something in the range of like a Windrunner when I see a Huskar, just get an easy shackle into, my ulti is going to kill him. But I don't see a Windrunner in this draft. We've only seen Windrunner once this tournament, and I believe it was played by Castaway mid as well. I don't see it happening here, because they need something a little bit more reliable than a Windrunner to do some physical damage to this Huskar.
How do you feel about Troll Warlord?
Troll can work. Troll can work.
Because I think Troll owns Huskar. There's nothing Huskar can ever do, especially when Troll gets BKB. And there's very little he can deal with.
The problem is he's going to keep dying in the early stages.
Oh, they pick Invoker. Yeah. Right. They do pick Invoker.
So we're going to get an ACG Classic Invoker.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like the Invoker pick here.
Yeah.
Very good.
I think Energy was kind of prepared for it. As soon as they banned out the sniper, they knew that this was one of the only options remaining for them. One Invoker on one of these comfort picks. And
PA.
A quick pick on the PA for the last pick on Energy.
Well, there's your damage.
Fair amount of physical damage coming out.
This is also very good because Blur, one of the ways that Huskar is able to beat you, right? He needs to be able to get at least the first 3 or 4 stacks on you of his Burning Spear. So if you have PA and you can guarantee dodge at least one of those, it actually makes a huge difference.
It does make a huge difference. And she's got her own escape mechanism as well. So she's not going to have to rely heavily on support to get her out of sticky situations. So PA is something I've been really wanting to see, especially when the Magnus pick up. I'm like, please PA, please PA, because classic PA with Empower and then Dagger applies that as well. It's disgusting. So I'm glad to see a PA here. I'm sad to, I'm not really sad not to see an anti-mage, but I mean, I was expecting an anti-mage, especially with the bans that were happening.
Yeah. All right, so let's round it up. Quick predictions.
I'm going to stick with Ian.
Quickly.
I'm going to stick with Ian.
Okay.
Ian.
All right, there you have it. Casters, take it away, Jabba and Scarpy.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Dota players around the world. And for all of you in the venue, these two teams have been brawling the entire day to come into another best of 3. I am Jabba, joined by Scarpy. Tell me how you see this game going.
Oh, man, I predict a large amount of murder to happen in this game. People are going to die. There's going to be blood on the battlefield. This is a difficult game to predict, I think. Everyone seemed pretty confident in sort of in their predictions there, but this is a tough one. I mean, if Huskar gets out of control, it's pretty scary. You allow PA to get a little bit of space. That is scary.
Could we dub this the Colin McGregor Mayweather fight?
Oh yeah, I suppose so. This is like Conor McGregor is going to be like going out for blood, and Mayweather's going to be dancing around the ring.
Right, well, before the game does get underway, let's go around and do the introductions. For the side of the Radiant, it is going to be Energy and Chelsea going to be playing on the puck, followed up by good old O2 on the Sand King. Chosen One going to be playing the PA in the bot lane. It's going to be Strike on the Vino. And a little bit of shenanigans coming out from yours truly, Habibi, on the Ricky Maru. And that rounds it up for the side of Energy. Please do the introductions for the side of APG.
Of course, APG going to be over on the Dire side. O'Malley going to be playing over here on the Sentinel going into the off lane. ACG going to be under threat here as he does take a blow or two from Habibi. He's going to be playing on that Invoker, taking a decent amount of harass here, but does get torrented up into the air by Bob Yules, who is playing over on that Kunkka going towards the top lane. Conspiracy going to be playing on that safe lane Huskar, and he's going to be assisted by Phalanx on his Shadow Shaman.
Now, a shout out to Sargon, been dealing with our stats this whole weekend through. It came and ran to us in the booth and told us, Jabba and Scarpy, I want to tell you something super interesting, is that both Ian and APG have the highest kills per team, whereas Energy has a fewer deaths to their name. So I think we dubbed them as Energy being version 2.0 of APG. So it's going to make for a really interesting matchup here.
Yeah, Kings of the lower bracket APG, but under a little bit of pressure here in the mid lane, and of course that is something that Ricky constantly brings to the laning stages. So ACG taking a decent amount of rest, was forced to use that solved pretty early on, but Bob Yules is not going to leave him alone. He's going to constantly be here to assist him out in this area, and it's actually going to force Habibi to rotate out as they realize, okay, there's definitely a sentry down here so got to get himself an out.
Well, something else that Ricky brings to the match is it's going to put a lot of pressure on the supports for APG. That Invis tax, constantly having to buy those Invis wards, is really going to put Phalanx on a little bit of a back foot until he's able to afford that gem that eventually will help out in the later parts.
Yeah. Another thing, O'Malley's having a pretty difficult time here. It's 1v1 up against Strike. So the laning stage is actually looking pretty good for Energy so far. Chosen One, he's not having too terrible of a time. In the top lane, they're not doing... The Sand King is doing all right. He's now getting a little bit of assistance, giving a little bit of assistance to Chelsea over here on the puck. So I think Energy are pretty happy with the outcome of the laning stages, at least thus far.
Now, looking at the drafts, which we haven't spoken about, which is the scarier draft? You look at these and you say, wow, you've got a PA, you've got a Husker. I mean, who do you back? Which team is it that you think is going to be the ones that technically won the draft?
I don't know if this is trauma speaking, but I definitely...
Trauma.
Yeah, because every time I play against a Husker, I just hate my life. It's really difficult to deal with. Oh, mid lane, ACG actually getting dove on here. Throws out the Sunstrike. Habibi going to take a huge amount of damage. Turning around, the right click's going to be enough, and that's going to be a kill for ACG. He is diving here, so C1 might be able to find the kill. But the Quas, he's going to turn around. Gets
Could
the
this be a double kill?
Oh,
that's going to be a double kill. Oh, wow. For the beginning, APG already stacking up the kills for their team. ACG God moding it there and taking down 2 of the EN players.
Yeah, really good turnaround from him there, realizing, okay, I'm going to just pop out the Quas and get that cold snap down, turn around, and a little bit of an overextension at least from C1, or Chosen One. So pretty rough one there for Energy, giving double kill over to an Invoker. You don't want to be in that position.
No. Let's take a look at a quick replay as the game has kind of stalled for the moment.
Yeah, so there's a sentry down. Habibi did deward, so they thought they could potentially be going for this one. But the Sunstrike, Habibi actually realized that the Sunstrike was being thrown, just got caught on the edge. One right click came through, and C1 here overextends, underestimating how much Quas can really heal. ACG was able to turn this one around very quickly and secure that kill. Double kill for him. Really solid.
No, absolutely. Just having a look at the bot lane, O'Malley trying to bring down Strike with very low HP. Does Strike turn around, bring him down, and he does. O'Malley going down, Strike just too quick there on the fingers and getting that last little right click there, bringing down good old Mr. O'Malley. But now mid lane, C1 trying to find another kill onto ACG. Cold snap is out onto Habibi. Gonna stop that onslaught there, and this D ward continues mid.
Yeah, so Habibi is constantly going to be trying to at least deward this general area, as it's the only opportunity he has to sort of put some sort of pressure. But right now, ACG's just got so much out of this lane with that unfortunate rotation of his. So it's pretty tough, but something that we didn't really bring up, PA is a very hard counter to Invoker in the mid lane. He can constantly harass him and get right up into his face. So we'll see how that's going to pan out. But Bob Yules seems to just always be by the side here. D-Wards again in the mid lane, so a bit of a tough time.
It's going to be a pain. The Torrent does actually catch. Do they decide to actually follow up with anything? They don't. We do have good old Habibi in the sidelines, just waiting for his opportunity to jump in. And APG decide against it. They back off.
Yeah, and at the same time, Conspiracy, he's pretty happy. He did find a kill a little bit early on. Happened at the same time as the previous fight. He did bring down the Sand King, so he'll be happy about that. I think the Sand King was quite low leveled. I think he was still level 1, so he was a pretty easy target for the Huskar, who I believe had Burning Spears on level 2. So a lot of damage. You need to be very careful when you overextend into a Huskar in that sort of scenario, at least.
It seems like the most of the action of this game is going to be in the mid lane. But considering both these teams are pretty much brawlers, this patch really leans towards the brawling teams. But bot lane Strike has been X'd up. There's Torrent. Sunstrike comes in. And Strike gets taken down from afar as O'Malley does manage to bring him down with the help of ACG in the mid lane.
Yeah, so this is a bit of a concern. Level 2 X marks the spot. That means Bob Yules can utilize the tree line pretty well to use their Fog of War to secure an X marks the spot. So they need to be a little bit more aware of his rotations. But meanwhile, top lane, they are going to find a kill onto Phalanx. Odu is a little bit deep here, but Conspiracy, he's taking a decent amount of right-click damage here from Chelsea, but now trading back into him. Needs to be a bit careful as this could favor. Oh, Sunstrike off the mark. Unfortunately, they're going to look to turn this one around. Huskar will take a tumble.
And he does go down, fighting under the smoke. Odu may actually go down here, and no, at times out, he's going to be able to keep himself alive. And like we said, this is the brawling patch. These two teams are brawlers, and they are going to go blow for blow, smashing each other apart.
Yeah, Odu's going to be really happy with the outcome of that. He was struggling for levels. He's now found level 3 and about 3/4. He's going to shrine up here, so he's going to be able to keep that presence in lane. And this is one of the things about the energy draft, the fact that they can leave the Veno in this 1v1 lane. It leaves a lot of freedom for Habibi to make rotations wherever he likes, as well as the Sand King sort of keep the pressure on this Huskar for as long as possible.
It's going to allow that to take place so each lane and each hero can actually get what they need. Shadow Shaman has 64.71 pick and ban in this tournament. Absolutely been ridiculous for him. But ever since the update, being able to increase his base damage has been quite a advantage for teams that managed to get him. Yeah.
Oh, top lane here. Energy are still playing very aggressively into this Huskar, and I like this a lot. They realize, okay, he's a very big threat if we give him too much space, but they need to also keep a very good eye on these potential pulls. Oh, actually missed the kill on the bot lane.
Mr. Bob Yules and Mally may actually go down. They're going to try and deny him out and not actually completing that. And Strike does eventually get the trade-off, killing O'Malley.
Yeah, that's a little bit of an error. I'm quite sure there was
that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, should have got a deny there. But, I mean, still a good trade. You're taking down the solo Venomancer, who's level 7. The Centaur's getting pretty good trades here. You actually wanted this lane to go favorable for the Veno if you're on the side of energy. So, didn't really expect that kill. But again, I can bring it up. Bob Yules getting level 2 into X marks the spot is making the life of the Veno a little bit impossible, because he knows he's going to be left alone, and rotation is more than likely not going to go his way.
Well, I mean, what's really going in favor of Ian at the moment, we got PA sitting on 60 lost hits with 19 denies. The Invoker only sitting 23 for 7. So Chosen One maybe got a couple of deaths to his name, but definitely out farming ACG at the moment.
Yeah, and Habibi is just doing all sorts of sneaky beaky things, going to see if he can find that career. But still hanging in the mid lane here. There's a good chance that ACG could be in trouble. I mean, we look over the last hits, and C1, he's comfortably ahead. Like I said, PA does extremely well into this matchup up against the Invoker. And, oh, there's big trouble now.
X comes out, Torrents, there's Sunstrike, 3 around for the side of APG. And Phalanx, we do have a BB there, throws down the smoke. Got TP's coming in from the side of Ian. Habibi in a little bit of trouble, trying to get under there, but the stun comes in from Odu, keeping Habibi alive. And there's nothing further. They're going to lose Chosen One. And that will be all, almost taking down Habibi as well. And they just couldn't get it, thanks to his teammate Odu getting that burrow strike on in there.
Yeah, but more importantly, they did bring down that PA, which is topping out the net with charts. He's definitely giving ACG a really tough time. Considering ACG had 2 kills right up front and the PA still ahead of him, it does show how this lane does favor the PA quite dramatically. I mean, this is a hero that ACG is not new to. It's something we see him play quite a lot and very effectively.
Well, just taking a look at the net worths really quickly. PA Vino, top of the charts, then followed by ACG on the Invoker, and Conspiracy 3.3k on his Husker. So Ian leading the charts, not by much, not much in it, but it is sitting in the favorable position for Ian at the moment.
Yeah, so it was a really nice spike that they used there. They realized, okay, O'Malley's got 6. Let's use his Stampede, find a kill. Now he actually rotated himself to the top lane, giving a bit of space for Phalanx to find his levels, and maybe going to try and find a kill here onto Chelsea if Chelsea does overextend, or once his ulti's off cooldown in 2 seconds.
Well, we do have ultis up for Conspiracy as well. The torrent's not going to land. Chelsea walks away. X marks the spot. Is out onto Odu. There's the Sunstrike. It's going to catch just on the tip. And that is going to stop there. I was actually really scared they were going to decide to make a move into Chelsea. But with that phase shift, kind of not your priority target, especially if he tries to go for the life break on the Husker.
Yeah.
You'd want to go on the Sand King.
ACG needs to be careful here. The creep wave is under his tower. Going to be scattered up by Odu.
Oh, the jump comes in. And the Stampede is being used up. Smoke has been dropped. X is down as well. The TP comes in from O'Malley. 4 for the side of APG around. And they're going to lose Chosen One. But now Strike comes in, throws down the Gale. Can they bring down ACG? Not going to be enough. Conspiracy, he wants to find some action. And good old ACG TPs himself out of there. Conspiracy just toggling his way there. And nice little bring back there. Chosen One going down yet again for the side of Energy.
Oh,
but BB, he's been spotted out. There's X marks the spot. Dust has been used. And they're making it a 2-for-0 trade. Energy on the big back foot here.
Yeah,
giving away so many kills.
Yeah, APG, brilliant rotations by them. They reacting very well. They identify, oh, okay, the PA is overextending onto me here. Let's punish this very quickly. And successfully, they managed to pull it off. And it's also not...
Oh, bot lane. We got Chosen One, runs in onto O'Malley, crits him for his dagger of death. And O'Malley needs to do some heavy juking here. Can he actually get around? It looks like he may be able to outplay the C1, but Kunka rocks up to the party. X marks the spot, boat, torrent, Sunstrike from the sky, and that is another death for Chosen One, APG. What did you have for breakfast this morning?
Yeah, I mean, APG, they had bravado for breakfast this morning. But, I mean, they're just doing such a great job. This Kunka is an absolute nuisance right now for Energy. Everywhere he is, he's finding kills consistently. It's a very good setup for the Sunstrike, something we probably should have brought up a little bit earlier. But all round, it's so difficult to find into this team, especially if Stampede's off cooldown. If you try and engage.
Bot lane Phalanx is just going to clear out the tier 1. Let's take a look at the replay in the meantime as APG is going to clear out that tower.
Yeah, so C1 dove a little bit deep here looking for O'Malley, but a really good rotation coming from Bobules. And I mean, just such easy setup with that Xbox spot. It's very easy to secure a Sunstrike. Not that ACG needs that assistance, but it does come in handy every once in a while.
So it looks like a Bibi may actually run into a couple of tangos over here. We've got APG doing a little bit of roaming, scouting, seeing if they can find themselves a target. And Habibi manages to avoid that, does get spotted out. There is another sentry on the map. So, I mean, as it is, it's going to be a lot of sentries and taxes for the side of APG to actually pay off here.
Yeah, Energy's got a lot of work to do here. They are feeling very unsafe. We can see that by Strike sitting inside the jungle now, farming with his wards. And I don't think C1 will want to overextend anymore. Oh, X marks the spot. I hear it.
I hear it too. Let's find out where it is. It is in the mid lane, but...
okay. Nothing.
False alarm.
Yeah, false alarm.
False alarm.
But actually in the bot lane here, they're keeping decent pressure. It's going to force Energy to either rotate, and then they're going to either go for a pick-off or find an objective, or they're just going to keep on putting pressure onto this tier 2 tower, which should be punished, or needs to be punished.
You know it's so scary though. You have a PA on your team, and I love this hero because it's all about RNG. You can jump in, get a crit, get that coup de grace, and then before you know it, you are critting people down, and you can literally dagger supports to death.
Yeah, there's a 2-man smoke here in the mid lane. They're going to see if they can catch someone overextending because they want to at least secure themselves some form of objective. but it seems like the side of APG are not going to bite onto this bait.
Jabba baited, excuse my compatriot here, Scarpy, he doesn't know how to pronounce it right. It's a Jabba baited, my friend.
Yeah, of course it is, right? But again, they're still not actually able to find this tier 1 tower. The smoke failed, unfortunately, and at the same time, O'Malley's just getting pretty much a free lane here. Still feeling safe. They got a lot of vision down in the enemy's jungle, so he has a decent idea if anyone's sort of making a rotation. A circle has been drawn here. This is like, they want to control. So both teams actually warding deep in their opponent's jungle. Oh, this should be a kill.
The jump comes in, Stampede being used out, and Phalanx being saved up by Mr. O'Malley. Conspiracy gets stunned up by Oju. He wants to get himself out of there as well. Bob Yule's looking for the X. Doesn't find it. Still fighting around the shrine, though. They're going to pop it. And the side of the end, they're just going to back off.
Yep.
They have got the reinforcements from APG that do not want to take that fight just yet.
These sort of situations are very scary for Energy. As soon as they believe they have an opportunity, Stampede goes off, and then you think, oh dear, the Kunkka is going to be running at us now, and the Xbox is supposed to going to happen any moment. We've got to get out of here. And you can already see this is getting to Energy. They're finding themselves in the far weaker position. Mid lane, strike.
There it comes. Sunstrike, X-Torrent, Orb, and C1 jumps in into Conspiracy. He goes down. Meatball from the sky comes in. Ship does not latch. ACG TPs himself out of there. On the backlines here, Phalanx gets caught out, and he is down as well. 2 down for the side of APG. Odu trying to find him. There comes the stun. TP cancelled. Bob Yule's in a world of trouble. And O'Malley just farming out the newts over here, but Chelsea is in a very good idea of where it is. C1 gets in there, slows down O'Malley, doesn't want to get stomped out. The Sunstrike comes in. Smoke is going to be good out from Habibi. They bring him down as well. Becomes a 4-for-0 trade for the side of EN. As the side of APG start respawning, it is time to get out, lads. And they do, as the reinforcements do eventually come in bits and pieces.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, if there's going to be a lot of killing in this game. 17 kills already at 16.5 minutes. Trading blows here. Very good exchange this time for Energy, though. Identifying, okay, they overextended, let's punish them here. And successfully, they did so. And
should we have a 2 times replay on that?
Oh, no. we'll keep that for a better occasion. A long, drawn-out fight, maybe.
Well, Conspiracy does have his armlet up, does have the Ogre Club, looks like he's going to... Well, what are we seeing?
Sorry, top lane. I thought they were actually going to dive here, but it was a retreating play from Chelsea. Apologies.
Alrighty, so that he's going to back off, looking around here. Habibi on the Ricky Maru, trying to see if he can scout out. How do you feel the game for Habibi is going at the moment? I mean, there's certain things you want to get done as a Ricky. Do you feel that he's accomplishing that for his team?
I think in the early stages he did all right, but I think the Kunkka has just been a bigger nuisance than that of the Ricky. So Habibi's having a bit of a tough time, but I think his smokes are going to come into be very useful as the game does progress. We saw it in that previous fight. He utilizing the smoke just to secure his team a better sort of advantage. But in comparison to that of the Kunkka being played by Bob Yules, I think he's having a little bit of a poorer performance than you would expect from him.
Mr. Bob Yules doesn't have much to his name, though, but still quite a big threat on the field. And obviously, the Sentry Wards must be taking their toll here for the supports of APG. Sitting with the wind lance, smoke in the inventory, a little bit of dust, boots. 18 minutes in, I wouldn't say the richest bloke in the field, sitting with a net worth of 1.8 gold.
Yeah. So this is the thing, right? It's very odd how APG are running their Kunkka. Most teams run their Kunkka as the greedy position, whereas Bob Yules is mostly the position 5 for his team. So he's spending a large amount of money on wars, whereas they're trying to focus a lot more gold into Phalanx on the Shadow Shaman. So I think he's definitely playing the position 4. And,
well, mid lane though, Odu jumps in, Habibi's around, they're going to make easy work of Bob Yules. They're going to keep him the poor man of the field and continue to punish him out.
Yeah, so that's pretty good for them. Again, that's 4-man mid, and they're keeping pressure on the bot lane as well. They dropped Serpent Wolves for this, so maybe Chelsea's actually going to get a lot of gold from here, but they should get a decent amount of chip damage at least to the tier 2 tower. Oh, O'Malley.
Oh, they do manage to spot him out, Habibi. Odu does have his blink. Do they decide to jump here? He's going to actually try and farm up the creeps. Habibi just taking a little bit of punishment damage here, but we get the Odu jump in. Smoke comes down. The dagger comes in from PA. 580 crit damage. Thanks for coming, baby girl.
Yeah, throws the dagger at him. Huge amount of damage. And we'll secure that kill into the centaur. I mean, O'Malley was maybe playing a bit too deep and farming pretty comfortably, seeing that their wards are down. It's maybe a bit of a high risk, so he does get punished for that, as he should. Shadowblade is completely on the Venomancer, just got to fly it out to himself. So Strike, this is a different build than we've seen. I don't think we've seen too many Shadowblades on Venomancer. I could be corrected, but yeah, we'll see how he's going to utilize that to effect. In fact, he's going straight for the Silver's Edge. So
the break for the Husker.
Yeah, breaks the Husker's passive, so it makes a lot of sense. Because the magic resistance is going to be the biggest problem for them bringing him down in the later stages.
Yeah, so I think itemization is really good. I think that's a great idea. We do have Chelsea building into he's got his Yules now as well. They're going to be picking up the edge as well. So I mean, at least the team's starting to itemize against the Husker. It seems like they're really worried about what Conspiracy is going to be able to do to them.
Mid lane now, they're smoked up. They're looking for something.
Oh, they're going to find Chelsea. They do. Amani gets in. X is there. Torrent as well. And makes easy work there of good old Chelsea. He goes down. 4-man rotation, taking down the flying little plucker.
Yeah, they also managed to find the Reki on the backside there with a Sunstrike. So quite a good exchange here once again for APG. Having a pretty good time. The Invoker's hit level 15. That means he's got 2 Forge Bursts, so their pushing potential has grown a little bit more. And he too's got ills, so they don't really want to get in too close to ACG unless they have BKBs or something of that sort. So they're going to drop wards, secure the tier 1 tower more than likely. But playing pretty defensively here, realizing PA can burst them pretty quickly. But tier 1 secure.
Tier 1 done and dusted. And probably looking to see what their next objective is going to be. Let's take a quick look at items at the moment. Big items up here for Chosen One. Got himself the phase boots. Deso. Chelsea got himself the blink as well as Yules. Strike did pick up his Dragon Lance. Shadowblade, we've mentioned it. Odu got his blink, and Habibi, a little bit of a poor little chappy, but looking on the other side of the field, Bob Yules also sitting kind of cheap phalanx as well, but Conspiracy got the Dragon Lance armlet, and ACG's got the Midas, Yules, and he's building in towards his Ags as well. Now, we get to the point where we say now, is Midas still worth it for Invoker players?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you still want to hit your levels very quickly. You don't really want to take the plus 30 XP because the second Sports Spirit makes a lot of sense. So to really elaborate on that, it's the ability to buff one of your abilities, or the ability to try and hit level 25 earlier and then have less impact once you do hit level 25. So Hannah Midas definitely still viable. Even though you get a little bit less out of the jungle, range creep still gives you a lot of experience with that Midas.
Right, so the boys here, considering that these two teams are heavy brawlers, been a little bit of a slowish kind of engagement. I would have expected to see a lot more jumps in from Conspiracy or the Husker, especially. I feel with the Husker you need to be super aggressive. Bot lane though, that is really gone really quickly. Habibi gets caught out. And this threat from the Invoker with the Sunstrike, just getting so much work done. Chosen One, big amount of trouble, but there comes the jump. We begged for it, it happened. The blink comes in, trying to get himself away. X is going to be there. Chosen One going to get clinically taken out there for the side of APG.
Yeah, this is very clinical performance coming out from APG once again. And they're going straight for the Roche Pit, realizing, okay, we've hit the spikes we need. We got the Serpent Wards online. Why not? Let's go. And they can use the Forge Burst to tank it up. Of course, they've got multiple of those. And should be a quick Roche on, yeah. Need to be careful about targeting here, Conspiracy, but he should be fine. Don't think you'll make an error like that. And the Torrent in the top lane.
Going to be able to stop out Chelsea. Manages to phase out. He's going to try and orb out. Is it going to be enough? Can he get away? Oh. And Chelsea finding the gap, but that TP's on cooldown. Oh, Chelsea. And he's been joined by his They're going to have a quick chat. Let's have a chat here, boys. Sunstrike off the mark. But he does get picked out, and O'Malley not managing to find the strike. Chelsea needs to get away. Odie does manage to find O'Malley, gets the bow strike through. Conspiracy looking for a target. Can he find it? There comes the phase shift. Blinking out. Conspiracy left with holding a bunch of air. And I think the side of APG says, no, listen, these Oaks are too evasive. Let's just back off. Let's just retake before the rest of the team just rocks up and dominates us from this position.
Yeah,
it was.
Odu's still like a sheep dressed in wolf's clothing. I know it's the other way around, but he's still just hiding in the tree lines there. Sort of like a whack-a-mole experience there. But actually, both of them getting out of there is pretty good for them. But Aegis on hand for Conspiracy is a major concern right now. They're more than likely going to lose some sort of control over the map, as well as potentially some objectives. This is a scary situation to be in for Energy, as they're already pretty close to losing their net worth lead right now.
So it's a really close game. 2K advantage at the moment for EN. 10 kills in their bag for themselves. APG's got 13. Let's take a quick glimpse into the future. What do you see happening here in the later part of the game?
Well, the late stages of the game, you don't really want to go too late with Husker. You want to sort of catch up. They need to catch up with this net worth very quickly. The Invoker's going to assist in that. And once the Invoker's got boots of travel, it's going to be very mobile. So I feel like APG still have a bit of a clock on themselves, whereas Succubus brought up very well. Puck does scale pretty decently if you go too late. That 25 of his is very strong.
Bot lane though. Melly gets caught out. And Strike is going to try and right click. Is it going to be enough? Tricks of the trade have been used out to make sure they bring him down. And O'Malley goes down. Let's have a shot of whiskey as we remember him and celebrate his wake.
Yeah, so he takes that tumble. But going back to my point, I feel like the side of Energy are not too concerned about going too late. And I feel like APG, they've set a clock for themselves, but it's all right. As long as they can secure majority of the Roshans, then Huskar is in a better position. But he's got BKB now, so they're more than likely going to look for a fight.
And we do see a little bit of a hunting party, ladies and gentlemen. Just hold on to your hats, as we do have the Scorpion searching for his next piece of prey. Does he find it? We do have ACG in the vicinity. Smoke gets broken. They know what's happening. He thinks it was done at the bottom. Unfortunately, ACG was chilling in the high parts here of the jungle.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, pretty fortunate. I mean, Odu had one of two choices there, and he unfortunately took the incorrect one. So it's a bit of a tough one to bite, but they'll be all right with this. They need to back themselves out here in the bot lane. It's going to be Abibu's in a tight position here, but no gem or anything of that sort. And Strike E2's in first.
Oh, gem's just being picked up. Bob Yules is now holding the secret card to destroy good old Mr. Habibi there. It hasn't been scouted out. He just picked it up, and maybe it will be revealed pretty soon.
Yeah, this is where you start shaking in your boots if you're a Ricky.
This is where the chat explodes. Guys, take down the Kunkka now. This is your objective. Leave everyone else. Get that gem off Bob Yules and make sure that Habibi doesn't actually lose his invis presence.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised that the side of APG have sort of reverted back to farming with this Aegis in hand, but I think it's a good opportunity for Bob Yules to go D-ward, make sure that they can shut down the vision for their opponents. They definitely know that they have the gem on the Kunkka now because he just de-warded them with it. So it's all right. I think they just need to go as a pair, make sure they don't lose this gem anytime soon, because a Ricky with the gem is absolutely horrifying.
Yeah. Let's also not forget, Odu also benefits from no invis with the Sandstorm. You don't want to be able to reveal yourself if he does decide to actually Sandstorm it up. So they need to get that gem away out of the hands of APG, absolutely crucial. And here we go, a little bit of action. Torrent does come up there trying to look for their targets, but they decide to get out of there. Now, for these two teams, I mean, we witnessed this weekend APG losing, and they lost against Pulse, if I recall. Who was it, the team that they played yesterday, forcing them into the lower brackets that had to go up against BVD this morning. These guys have been brawling all day. EN as well. These guys have had a best of 3 going the full 9 yards. That's 3 games prior to this one. That is playing Dota for 4 hours with a 20-minute lunch break in between. This has been crazy for them, but ACG spots out the 2 here for the side of Energy. Tornado comes in, EMP dropped down. C1 jumps in, just trying to avoid the EMP, but backs himself out of there. Phalanx, if a little bit quicker, could have actually hurt Chosen One quite a bit there. Yeah,
they managed to find Odu, however, on the high ground, so they're going to definitely utilize this opportunity to secure the CR2 tower with the mass open walls that come out from Phalanx. And they could consider going high ground because Sand King is a very big instrument in defending their high ground.
Ooh, massive crits onto Conspiracy. Oh, wow. If he had toggled at the wrong time and that dagger came out,
yeah,
that would have been a free kill, and that would have been mistakes were made, my friend.
Yeah, Aegis is also timed out. It's very odd to see them go for this aggressive play, but fortunately it worked out for them, seeing that the Aegis is down. So I think APG are going to now revert back to farming this and wait for that next Roshan, which will be, we'll know its potential respawn time in about 2 minutes' time. So maybe get the tier 1 tower here on top. I don't think Energy, it looks like they might actually set up for a defense here.
Well, we've got both teams now in the vicinity. Conspiracy wants to be on that type of HP, just to ensure that he's hitting as hard as he can. They're going to put Conspiracy in the front. They're going to be able to secure that tower. Now C1 goes in, pops the BKB just in time. Life break not working. They lose Conspiracy. They're trying to look for more, but the team decides to get out there as Rameli TPing out on the sidelines. The barrage strike comes in. Dagger going to be good. Smoke is down, and they lose Bob Buell's 2 down for the side of APG. They're looking for more, but the rest of the team has bugged out and gotten themselves away. In the mid lane, ACG just chilling. Bot lane, O'Malley got out of there trying to clear out that lane, and Phalanx went back to base, and no more tangos around for EN to slaughter. Well,
very big thing in that team fight. Gem is now in the hands of Habibi. They have absolute control of this map right now. The warding is going to be very difficult to keep sentries up. Habibi can just constantly deward.
Oh, ACG gets spotted out, sticking around just too long in the wrong area at the wrong time, and gets spotted out by Chosen One, Puck, and good old Sand King, and gets taken to book. Yeah. That was massive. That was a massive kill for them. ACG's down.
Oh, bot lane.
Going to be a little bit of a problem. Let's have a look in the bot lane. They lose O'Malley as well. As was that a solo kill? It's just Strike around.
Yeah, Strike using that Silver's Edge to his advantage, and he's doing a tremendous amount of right-click damage. It's easy to underestimate how much he can actually do, seeing that he does have the Silver's Edge as well as the Hurricane Pike up right now. So even though the pipe was used from the Centaur, still managed to get solo picked off by the Venomancer. So very concerning.
He's still got his ult, still got a lot of his spells. So that was a lot of right-click damage. I'm assuming that O'Malley wasn't full HP.
Yeah. So
that would have been incredible.
So something that we can definitely pick up from that previous sort of events that occurred. They smoked up after finding 2 kills. They smoked instead of backing out. They went to roam all the way across the map to see if they can find someone overextended.
Conspiracy. Actually going to try and get himself out there. He got himself Hurricane Pike. And yeah, continue. Sorry, that thought it was going to be a little bit more juicy than that.
No problem. So actually Conspiracy's got pretty decent escape as long as he can sort of maintain his health at a decent pitch, because the PA can just do such a huge amount of damage. He needs to be very careful of that. And he doesn't have an answer to that physical damage. I actually do expect to maybe see a halberd coming out here. But yeah, going back to that, I think Energy did a really nice play there. Find 2 kills, smoke up instantly, and then walk through. And the side of APG thought, okay, we can fall back. Let's farm. We lost 2 guys. Let's just go back to safe parts of the map. And little did they know, they weren't very safe at all.
No, to say the least, they weren't. Let's take a quick look at the graphs as we get a bit of an opportunity here. EN sitting with a 6k advantage in terms of experience, sitting in the reaches of 15,000 experience. I mean, that is an absolutely devastating amount here for the side of APG. For them to actually have to deal with that kind of level advantage. O'Malley jumps in, doesn't find OG, managing to swap it out, forces himself away from the tornado. Beautiful little dodge post, Cold Snap going to try and do some work, manages to dodge out, gets the TP out on Strike, but now Odu trying to see if he can also make himself pretty much disappear, and I don't think it's going to happen. He's going to get brought down. Strike does make it out, and almost beautiful effects of trying to get away from that Invoker.
Yeah, pretty close to maintaining 1 kill a minute here at least for this game. We did expect a lot of kills to be happening, and they are definitely pulling that one off. So APG, they need to scat out this Roshan. They need to sort of secure that one for themselves. That will make the Husker a bigger threat for Energy. But Energy, they too have the ability of bringing Roshan down very quickly. They got a Desolator on the PA, as well as the potential physical burst that he can provide to that.
So they're going to pretty much let the tier 2 tower in the bot lane fall. The TP comes in from ACG, probably going to try and defend out the top lane. We do have Chelsea just making sure that that lane is taken care of, and all the lanes are looking at trying to be pushed out as they're looking for their next objective. As you said, Deso is up. We do have the Basher up as well. Probably going to translate that into the Abyssal.
Yeah, we'll see if he does opt to go that way.
Well, Sunstrike came in, they know this is happening. They know this is happening, but I don't think there's anything they can do about it.
Yeah, they're pretty far out here. In fact, ACG.
ACG wants a part of this. We got Chelsea trying to be super aggressive. Maybe snatched the he snatched the Aegis, but they got it killed by O'Malley. Got the kill on the Rosh, but it got snatched. So that was essentially.
It was killed by APG.
Yes, and then snatched by Ian, but Ian was in the pit.
Yeah, it was a bit confusing for me too. I had to think about it a little bit, but really good work there.
So they still got the Aegis. They never got the kill.
They stole the cheese though. The center of the cheese, and he consumed that. So that is probably the biggest plus that they got out of that one.
I was focused on the Chelsea jumping onto ACG. I thought that was going to be a little bit more interesting. In the meantime, O'Malley surprising us, jumping into the pit. Let's take a look at how Mr. Ricky got that kill.
Yeah, you can see he ate the cheese right there just before he went down, and I mean, it's still all right. He actually got the last hit, so he gave his team a decent amount of gold. But unfortunately, he picked up the incorrect item and got the cheese instead of the Aegis. If he picked up the Aegis there, it would have made a very big difference.
That could have been a massive loss for Ian and a massive win for APG. I don't think they were going to come in. I honestly didn't think they were going to jump into the pit. Half the team was around the map, but ACG called it, and the boys responded. And that is what you expect from your teammates. Just jump in and go.
Yeah.
Go.
Unfortunately, it wasn't really worth it. They snatched up the cheese, but they did lose O'Malley, so... and Aegis still went the way of energy.
They got the kill on Rosh.
Yeah.
Does that not make it a little bit beneficial?
I think in that instant, yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, the Aegis is going to give you far more value than that bit of gold for securing the Roshan kill.
Fair enough. But what APG did do is they didn't allow Chosen One or Strike to actually pick up the Aegis. Habibi was forced to pick up the Aegis. So unless that was their plan the whole time along, was to put the Aegis up onto Habibi. But now top lane, Odu going to get spotted out. Jamili jumps in. Sunstrike came in. A little bit of damage. They're going to use a Stampede, and Odu is going to go down. Getting caught a little bit there, and O'Malley punishing him for being in his lane far past the river.
Yeah. So ACG is pretty huge right now. He's still farming up an absolute storm, but Energy are still leading that net worth graph, at least for now. And I mean, ACG is going to start coming online pretty soon. He is going for the Shiva, so he's going to have a lot more magical impact on this game as it does proceed. But I feel like Energy, they still feel okay. As long as they don't start leaking deaths right now, they will feel pretty confident going into the later stages of this game.
Well, here comes the Ghost Walk. ACG looking for a target. He may find someone. C1 is around. The blink has decided to be used out. And the Tornado comes in, going to slow down Habibi. And they may just get themselves out of here, realizing there's just too many bandits in the area.
That was a lucky Tornado because Habibi
I think he was going,
gem.
yeah, I think he was actually going for the other target, and then Habibi actually was just in the way.
Yeah, because Habibi had gem, so he could see the Invoker.
He picked up the gem, I suppose, because he's got the Aegis. He can pick up the gem now as well without the threat of it actually landing back on the field.
Okay, actually going back to your point about it being worth it, they actually forced Habibi to take the gem instead of maybe the PA. Oh, meanwhile, bot lane.
Oh, we're going to maybe lose Bob Yules. The coil is down. There's the orb. Sunstrike not going to latch. Habibi jumps in, drops tricks of the trades. Bob Yules tries to drop down the boat. Is it going to be good enough? Not going to latch. Bob Yules going to be able to walk away, and no deaths coming out there. Mr. Habibi going to TP himself on out, as Phalanx can't find anything, and O'Malley trying to jump in,
mid lane,
drop the stun, not going to find anything. Mid lane though, we do have Odu trying to find the Sun into Conspiracy. BKB's up, but there's the Abyssal going to catch him. Sunstrike comes down, going to hurt Chosen One. There's the Deafening Blast. Tornado out, doesn't actually catch onto Odu. Odu trying to see if he can actually find ACG. No more backup from the side of Yen, and they're going to just halt that onslaught. While this is all happening, 3 players here for the side of Yen. We've got them catching out Phalanx. This is going to be a big problem. Jumping comes out. Can they find the crit? He doesn't. The Yules is there. O'Malley jumps in. There's the BKB. Trying to chase him under the tier 1. He has popped it. So now he's got a big amount of... well, that's okay. So Chosen One has now used his BKB. It's on 7-second cooldown. Maybe looking for something more. Doesn't happen. EMP being used. That's striking a little bit of a problem here. doesn't actually manage to connect or combo up with that EMP. And Ian looking so good to go. All ultis available for both teams. Hold on to your hats. This is it. Game 1, APG versus Energy, which will be the first team to be able to devastate the racks of the opponent. The boat comes in. We do have the shackles coming out. We lose Odu. The poison has been thrown up by Strike, trying to right-click him down. The smoke is there. C1 has been disarmed. Conspiracy trying to find the jump. O'Malley forcing himself forward. Tornado comes in, can't find anyone. Chelsea on the sidelines drops a 3-man coil. Beautifully done. Habibi jumps in, throws out the smoke. Tricks with the trade being used out. Smoke down as well. Conspiracy trying to find his target. Jumps onto C1. So many misses happening for him and still a blink away. Coming out for the side of APG. O'Malley forcing, blinking in. Trying to hurt Chosen One. Not going to happen. Sunstrike coming in, trying to find Strike. He's still alive. He does eventually go down. And now we lose O'Malley as well. Chosen One has got his BKB. Going to try and run out. Jeremy's on the deck. X marks the spots. Not going to be latched up. Yours is just too good. They lose Chelsea. Can APG do it? For the Hurricane Park, just too strong. Conspiracy toggles through the armlets. And they wipe out the side of Energy. APG, what have you done? Devastated the side of Energy. Looking so good. And then broke the hearts of the side of Energy.
Full team wipe there. That's about a 5,000 net worth swing just from that single fight. I think APG will be very happy with that defense, and I'll probably want to relate that into something more.
Well, the replay is ready. Let's take a look.
Yeah, so we can see the tornado comes at you. A really good movement there by C1 trying to avoid that. The Dream Coil should have been probably the time for them to say, let's get out. They did get the dust over onto the Ricky, so he had to jump instantly into his ultimate for as long as possible. But it just went on for very long here, and they managed to get the shrine up as well. Conspiracy, he managed to toggle extremely well. O'Malley putting his life on the line here, but definitely securing the kill there. And they managed to just find everyone. C1 finds, yes, a kill, but in the grand scheme of things, this didn't really pay off the way he wanted to. X marks the spot, Tornado. It's a really tight position. He had to turn around and fight. There was no real opportunity, and oh man, Conspiracy is so close to death. But and again, great toggle right there at the end. So very good work by him.
And Ice Wall to boot, just to add insult to injury. APG 21-19 after 41 minutes, less than 1,000 gold in it. APG devastated the side of Ian with almost a 7,500 net worth deficit.
Yeah, it's really big, and it's only going to grow a little bit more now because they're going to manage to control a little bit extra of the map as well. They managed to find the gem back, so we must consider that as another 900 gold that they gained and 900 gold lost. So it's a big problem. So yeah, that also contributing, like you said. 1,800 is quite significant.
Who has the gem now? Is the gem up on anyone? It is. Bob Yules has retrieved back his prized possession that he picked up early in the game. But Habibi and Phalanx, they both scouting out one another. Well, it looks like they're doing the dance. They don't even realize that each other are around. He's going to be able to run to the central ward. Okay, Habibi doesn't actually follow him, so they're not going to know the location or the bearing of where Habibi is.
Isn't it crazy how they mirrored each other there?
Yeah.
You can just see Phalanx as a Ricky player, right? He just mirrored the movements of his opponent. But other than that, I think APG, they just need to sort of find some form, wait for that Roshan to come up again, which is going to be in about another 2 minutes. Very late respawn on that Roshan. So we see Habibi go poke his head in and see if he's up. But they're going to have to be very patient here, and they're going to have to keep their heads together, the side of APG.
Heads on a swivel as APG can approach from any side. Rosh is going to be up in the next couple of minutes, and I think that's the next objective that they're waiting for. There's 2 towers left on the field for, well, 1 tower per team. We do have the top tier 2 still remaining here for APG, and the top tier 2 remaining for the side of Energy. Pretty much all things being said, all things being equal, both these teams are pretty much neck and neck at the moment.
Yeah, and I think another big item to come is going to be Phalanx if he gets that Aghanim Sept up, which he'll be looking for. He's pretty close. He just requires enough gold for one more component, but holding on to the gold for now. until
He doesn't have buyback available just yet, but I think it was about a 300 rand short, 300 gold.
300 rand.
300 rand, I know. I wish I had 300 rand on me right now, but he's about 300 gold off of his buyback, 200 gold. So probably just making sure that he has that should he go down. I mean, you've got important skills that you need to bring to the team fight. ACG sitting with quite a chunk of gold. He can start probably finish up his Octarine core and then start absolutely meleeing into the side of EN.
So while we have a little bit of a break in battle right now, I want to bring up something that's I find very important, so that we should have touched on a little bit earlier. The solo crest on this Kunkka is tremendously good this game, because he's just going to throw it over onto the PA, and PA, they got true strike on PA every time. So that means the Husker is just going to be able to pummel into him and sort of make the life an absolute misery for this Phantom Assassin. So that is a very big pickup that I think he actually picked up quite a while ago on the Kunkka, and is going to play a very vital role in the upcoming fights.
Well, I mean, we had a look a little bit earlier in the game. We did have Bob Buell sitting bottom of the log, and now he's earned himself some decent spots. Spot up at the top. They do lose Odu, being a really caught out of position, I would say. Maybe trying to find the kill onto O'Malley. He's a bit tanky at the moment. Got himself a Heavens Halberd. Big pickup as well against the PA as well. So, I mean, this strat that Ian has gone for, it seems like they've loaded a lot of the eggs into one basket, and that is onto the PA, that the PA could get done what it needs to get done, or what she needs to get done. And it may not pay off, it may pay off.
Oh, Habibi pokes his head in there. He knows what's happening. This could be a big fight here.
Or does he steal it? Okay, we're going to wait. We can't say anything too loud, guys. We're going to whisper. The smoke comes out. Tornado is there. The poke's going to be used out. Rush is still taking a chunk of damage, and Conspiracy still manages to pick it up. We do have chosen one. BKB's out. Sunstruck is going to come out. Life break comes in. Habibi goes down. Ooh. There's Chelsea throwing out the orb. Everyone low HP here for the side of APG. They do lose Odu though. ACG very full, well, still half HP. Conspiracy very, very low, but Chosen One decides this is not a fight that he wants to take. Strike envisages himself and gets himself the hell out of there, and Chelsea gonna try and get himself as far away as he can, as APG got in there, devastated the side of Ian, and that was almost a perfect engagement, I would say. Majority of the side of APG was under the smoke, and just because ACG was not in the pit, was able to meteor, deafening blast, could make that impact. Let's take a look at that once again on that beautiful fight.
Yeah, so Habibi was pretty patient here, but they knew just before the Roche was going to fall, they needed to pop that dust. So they did a pretty good job. The smoke got dropped. Actually, he dropped the smoke first, so he wanted to try and secure that for himself, but the fight just went south. Bobby also got that ship through, and the Coco Rum definitely assisting his team there, making sure that they could get a pretty good trade in that Roshan exchange.
So it's starting to feel that APG is taking control of this game, and that things for Ian aren't going the way they wanted it. APG playing an unbelievably amazing game. The Invoker ACG just unstoppable. Conspiracy on the Husker just getting done what he needs to. What do Ian do at this point? I mean, we're sitting 47 minutes in, another 50-minute game already, and these boys have been slogging it through this morning. How do Energy close out this game, or what needs to happen to bring a win for them? At the moment, I feel APG is in a little bit more control.
Again, I think they need to just defend this pretty well now. They need to not get picked off until that Aegis is down. Then they can really start to make those decisions as to where they're going to go from here. Until then, they actually jump onto an illusion, but they're going to realize it's an illusion very quickly. But a smoke play, as they realize most of them are in the jungle, this is the play that APG need to make, and this is something that can't be afforded by Energy.
Habibi breaks the smoke, so they know Habibi's around. They're going to call the evacuation for the side of VN. They're going to try and catch out Chelsea, but he's going to be able to get himself on. No, he doesn't. He face shifts in. O'Malley comes in, and they manage to clear out Chelsea, and Odu also getting himself out of there, but Chelsea, he got caught completely. I thought the face shift actually got him out.
ACG, man, he threw the Sunstrike exactly where he knew the puck was going to blink to. He instantly knew exactly where that puck was going, and really good play from him there. And this frees up the high ground. And another big thing is Phalanx has Ags. These Serpent Walls do a tremendous amount of damage as they do bounce off of the building. But
O2 jumps in epicenter. Yours has been used out. Smoke comes down. Boat comes in. O'Malley taking a chunk of damage. Uses Stampede. Tricks of the Trade being used out. They're going to try and bring down Strike. They do. Phalanx doing a huge amount of damage. AC drops as well. And now O'Malley been TPing himself out of there. And now they're going to see if they can find more. Bob Yours, this will be big. Gem will be on the deck when that happens. Pick up the gem, Mr. Habibi. That is your enemy, and they do. They defend. Once they had lost the Chelsea, I think he actually had to buy back there. But the boys of Ian defend. They only lose. Oh wow. Chelsea takes down Conspiracy. They lose the one lane of Rax. And the Rangers are down one. Well, at least the melee still stands. So that's going to be able to regen for a bit. But still quite a chunk of damage being done. A lot of the structural damage has been done by APG.
Man, if they got the melee racks there, I would say would have been a far better exchange. But Energy doing a very good job at defending the high ground, bringing down that Aegis very early on like that is all right for them. They're actually going to go straight for the high ground now, force buybacks potentially.
Well, 300 HP left on the melee racks in the bottom would have been a big win for the side of APG if they got that. And they've turned things around. They're going to try and force back one or two buybacks if they can. That would be a win for them. They're going to use out the glyph. Phalanx is back in one. He's available. Conspiracy has buyback. ACG does buyback now. Going to come try and defend. Tier 3 does go down. O'Malley in the vicinity. He's popped down the Plague Wards. Going to force staff himself out. EMP used as well as Tornado. Can they defend long enough so they don't have to use the buyback on Conspiracy? Bob Yours is going to be back in 1 second. So I think the window for pushing up high ground has just closed. And Ian going to have to back themselves out of there.
Yeah, Energy is still going to be very happy with this. They forced the buyback on the Invoker. They traded. Yes, they had to trade a Rax, but it was only a range Rax. The melee Rax is going to heal up over time, and they managed to find themselves a tier 3 tower. This opens up the shrines for them to pick up. So I think that trade, they are very happy. Like I said, they also managed to bring down the Aegis previously, but yeah, they'll be happy. Again, they still need to be concerned though, because Phalanx has got Ags. They can't really give any sort of space to APG, because if they just get close to your high ground, they're going to do a very significant amount of damage to any sort of high ground structures.
You almost need to take fights out of the base, because if you get Phalanx anywhere near the base, you are going to suffer. I mean, Phalanx, I can imagine he's on the headset with his boys and he's saying, listen lads, you just create a path straight to the base. I'm going to drop the wards and then we get out of there.
Yeah.
And that is essentially probably what the play is going to be, or at least keep the side of EM busy long enough for those wards to actually do the structural damage that is needed. And I potentially would even say go refresh on Phalanx, and that's the way they can break down into Ian's base.
Yeah, Energy doing the right thing, but the wrong way. As they do 5-man smoke, they want to hunt, like we said, they want to take these fights outside of base.
Well, both of them are doing the wrong thing, Mr. Scarby.
Yeah, mirroring each other once again. So I think this favors actually APG a little bit, because like we wanted to say, they want to take the fight at their opponent's base, whereas Energy want to catch them outside. So they're actually going to be pushing out this bot lane, realizing, okay, this melee Rax is taking damage, is healing up, let's try and shut it down very quickly. They do have the Serpent Wards online. But, yeah, it seems like they just can't find each other. And
well, this is going to work out really well for APG, because ACG's shown himself in lane. They're going to clear this wave. The boys from Ian need to get back into base. TP's available on pretty much everyone except Mr. Odu doesn't have a TP there. X marks the spot, used on himself, jumps in there, and he gets a kill! He gets a kill! Phalanx doesn't even manage to drop down the wards. He was trying to just use X marks the spot, and Bob Yules let his teammate die. They jump in. That is the call. And Melly, he's going to be the next one on the hit list. He gets brought down as well. Phalanx feeling like an absolute outplay from the side of EN, and being brought down before being able to get the ward. That was, I don't know what to say.
I don't know, he just...
X marks, they just wanted to run Phalanx in, drop the wards, and then bring him back.
Yeah.
Couldn't even happen.
Yeah, he just got deleted from the game.
Yeah,
So,
let's take a look at that. That must have been a bash, first strikeout.
here's my analytical perspective. Pop.
Pop, what, 562 with strike there,
Oh,
opening up
man.
with the Silver's Edge. That was massive, absolutely needed. This is going to put the side of APG on the back foot. They do have buyback. The question is, do they want to use it? They're going to have to, and Ian going to try and force it out. Chosen One doing a world of hurt. He's got himself the Abyssal, got himself the BKB, as well as an MKB. So he's hitting like an absolute monster at the moment. He's got himself the B-Fly busy loaded up. Sunstrike comes down, splits between three, so hardly doing any damage to the side of Ian. And I mean, maybe they'd wait for the next objective, which will be in the next
1 second. Yeah.
Boom, respawn, baby. And Habibi, he notifies it, finds it out, and
So,
it has just been confirmed that the kill on Phalanx took 2 hits. The boys up at the desk confirmed it, ladies and gents. If there was money riding on that bet, it was 2 hits to bring down Phalanx.
yeah. So, Roshan now, this is a pretty big objective for them. This is going to mean they can secure high ground. They want to find Roshan and then maybe push up their bot lane and look for that high ground initiation. Potentially maybe catch a smoke, but they need to make sure that there's no way that Phalanx is dropping wards down at their base. And I mean, yeah, we saw how capable they are of doing that, so they're going to have to try and do something here. Do they have a smoke, actually? Yes, they do. They're going to smoke up and see if they can wrap around and find something.
Well,
Oh,
they're actually going in the wrong direction. They're actually making their way to the top part of the map, while the side of APG is sitting in the bot lane. They're actually going to TP themselves out of there. While Bob Buell's does happening in the bot lane here, Phalanx, you know what they're going to try and do? They're going to try and split push and let Phalanx push out by himself so that they can actually take down this lane of Rax. They've put Chosen One here in the bot lane. His Forge Spirit's going to try and do a little bit of chip damage here to the melee, but it does regen. So it is going to be able to be full HP by the time they're trying to throw out those shenanigans. Habibi might smell a little bit of a rat going on here, so he's going to try and see if he can actually find something. And it's going to be super interesting here if he does.
yeah. So I think one of the bigger things is that they're buying a little bit of extra time on the side of APG. They're doing a pretty good job at that. And it seems like the side of Energy, they sort of trying to find themselves the perfect scenario before they do overextend for an objective. There's Cheese that has been picked up by the PA as well as them having the Aegis on hand. So we'll see what comes of that, as both teams seem to be stagnant, and APG, they'll be happy with this. The more time they can buy, the better. I like this ward placement here, sort of the Tinker ward in the top lane here.
So they are ready and prepared for any shenanigans. It seems that they need to actually mirror the same kind of warding for this sneaky little Russian. He's sitting here in the sidelines. Now, what he's probably going to wait to do is wait for them to push out, and then Phalanx is going to commit his life to dropping down that melee set of racks.
Yeah, so this is sort of to catch out Puck, because he's been doing most of the split pushing for the forward of the side of Energy. So if they can, that'll be really nice for them. But again, APG, they'll be happy as long as they don't make any sort of negative trades. They can sort of hold the high ground. But again, the clock is ticking for this Huskar. He is going for some damage items, so he's still going to scale a little bit better. He does have the Assault Curious, which is going to help his team, but sooner or later, they need to make some sort of an action, or they're going to have to rely heavily on the Invoker to sort of make the big plays.
Explain her interaction to me. Now, we've got the Lotus Orb up onto Odu, the SK. What happens when Lotus Orb is placed on an ally when Conspiracy, the Husker, jumps on that hero? What is her interaction?
Yeah, so you'll also jump on the hero. So you actually do take some damage yourself as well. So it's pretty interesting, but I think the Lotus Orb is going to be used more to sort of get rid of Cold Snap, to stop the Shadow Shaman of trying to hit you. I don't think they will really want the Husker to be losing more health and sort of dealing a lot more damage in these team fights to a certain individual, whoever it may be.
Well, gems are up on both teams. Mr. Bob Buells and Habibi got that reveal. They've got that detection. So Habibi going to have to play a little bit more carefully. Odu as well with that Sandstorm. Both teams kind of waiting for their next timings. And probably going to be on Chosen One trying to build up towards that Scotty and save for buyback as well. It does have a surplus at the moment. I think Aegis is down, if I recall. No, it is a lie. It is actually up on strike at the moment. So they are ready to rock and roll. What do you think they're waiting for? They're trying to split push it out?
I think they're still waiting, maybe if they can catch someone poking their head out, but they also want to make sure all their lanes are pushed out. Like we said, Phalanx can really punish you if you make that error, and I think he's walking around the stadium right now, because he's just, oh, there we go, he heard me, he's going to start moving. But yeah, he's cutting the waves, he's doing a pretty good job, and actually TP coming in.
Oh, wow, here comes the punishment, boys. Here comes the hurt. The Yules comes in. Phalanx going to pay with his life. The silence is there. C1 going to try and close it out, and he does. A 1,449 crit. Thanks for coming. That is what APG are going to be dealing with now.
Yeah, when you got 50 health left and someone crits you for 1,400, you know you were supposed to die. But,
yeah, that was like guaranteed.
Yeah, so this is the opportunity they were waiting for. Now they know that Phalanx is down. Phalanx, he has got buyback, so he's more than likely going to be forced to use that. But top lane, it's actually Strike who's going to be brawling it out here with the Centaur, but it's also ACG that's come on through. He's thrown out the Tornado. This should be a catch, but they are going to have to trade high ground here, if anything. In fact, they're TPing out. They realize this.
Oh, wow. Strike almost trying to keep them back. Had nothing to stop them. They TP out. They're going to be able to defend the bot lane. And... wow, if you could have cancelled one or two of those TPs, that would have been absolutely fantastic. But the call was to actually get back. And but I think that was also a little bit of a misplay. The Stampede was used, but as the Stampede was used, we also had ACG using the Tornado, actually not letting Strike take that debuff as well.
Yeah, I think it was fine. It's nothing really happened. Aegis is finished now, so APG had a very successful defense. They didn't lose too much. They still hold onto all their axes. As for their opponents, they have lost the range racks that we saw a lot earlier. So they're going to have this constant pressure coming out in one of the lanes. Yes, it's just the range racks. If it was the melee, it would have been a bigger concern. But for now, APG will just be looking for a way to get themselves close to their opponent's base, because that's where Phalanx can just absolutely demolish a base with his Serpent Wards.
Well, it looks like Ian needs to actually push out this bot lane to ensure that shenanigans doesn't happen from Phalanx. I think that when Phalanx went down, they kind of revealed the idea or the plan that they had was just to try and get close enough to drop down the wards and to make that kind of play. But I kind of revealed it a little bit. They kind of said, listen, this is what we want to try and do, and revealed to Ian what's going to happen.
Yeah, so this side of Energy, they still feel okay because Odu's scaling pretty well. Habibi can scale pretty well. He is still the poorest individual on the field, which is quite surprising for a Ricky, but I suppose they have been keeping pretty good tabs on him. The PA, even though there is the Solar Crest on the opposing side, as well as MKB going to be purchased up pretty soon on the Huskar, he's doing fine. We'll see how that MKB is going to pay off for the Huskar onto him, but for now, PA feels pretty confident going into these stages of the game. So I think Energy, they were all right with not getting any objectives with the Aegis, because they did pretty much wait it out, and I suppose there was a shock for them, and they rather took the safe play and backed themselves on out. So again, I think Roche is going to be a heavily concentrated area for the next couple of minutes.
Well, just having a look at the levels, because I'm looking at the graph, and it's almost teetered to 0, as most of the teams are on level 25, with the exception of Phalanx and Bob Yules, and with the exception of Habibi only sitting on level 21. Things are starting to level themselves out in terms of levels. It's starting to get to that point where it's now going to matter to become an issue of buybacks. Who has buyback, who's safe for buyback, and starting to get to those 7 slotted positions.
Yeah. Oh, Mally might be in a bit of a pickle here. He needs to get out. He gets hexed up on the top lane here. They're going to get the Dream Coil down on him. He's a tanky bugger to bring down, but they do have more than enough damage. And C1 will secure that one for himself. 1,400
crit damage. I don't think you're going to walk away from that.
Absolutely. So something else I want to touch on now that you're bringing up the level 25s. Puck did not opt to go for the plus 75% illusionary orb and distance. He went for the 420 GPM. Meme Lord Chelsea, but it's actually pretty viable. He managed to find the South Vast probably with that as well, so it's going to be very
He's going to buy moonshots for his entire team.
Yeah, he can do that. I mean,
that's what he's going to do. He's going to buy moonshots. Sargon, if you're listening to me, please drop us a stat of the accumulative team GPM for both teams if you're here. Let's see how this actually is going to affect the current GPM of both teams. It's going to be absolutely ridiculous if this is the type of play that we're going to see. Odu sitting in the mid lane, trying to see if he can spot out anything yet. Chelsea wrapping himself around. We may look at them trying to hold up a little bit of a defense. The big man of himself is sitting here, waiting it to be disturbed. But it looks like the boys from EN may just try and keep these lanes pushed out for the moment.
Bot lane Phalanx. Oh, the Sparrow strikes off the mark, and Phalanx, he can TP out.
Oh, the Yules is there. Oh, Sunstrike coming down. The smoke has been dropped. Phalanx is not going to get out there. Let's talk about it. I mean, Shackle's going to be good. Lotus all been brought out. 3 players for the side of Energy, making sure he goes nowhere. And once again, Phalanx, up to his no good nonsense, gets punished.
Yeah, so I think one of the big things that are happening now, all the BKBs are on very low cooldown. So the South of us on the puck is going to pay off big dividends. The PA is going to have to think twice about using his BKB preemptively, because he has to sort of use it preemptively. There is a halberd on the Centaur. If the Centaur manages to get close enough to him, halberd him up before he BKBs, then all of a sudden PA is doing nothing in these team fights. So, top lane.
Oh, here comes the X. BKP out. You're in trouble now, boys. Strike is here to fight and play. Coil being dropped down. ACG in a world of trouble. He gets brought down. O'Malley, he's in the side of the jungle trying to get found out. He's going to be able to blink forward. Habibi has got himself his own blink, trying to run forward. Can Odu find him out? He's sitting here in the side of the trees. Orb's not going to find out. O'Malley in the most perfect position. They are trying to hunt a slug, but he is in the perfect little hole, and they think that he's got an out. How O'Malley found that spot is beyond me, and that should have been one dead Centaur. But that is what years and years of training and playing Dota does. It finds you those gaps, and it finds the opening here for the side of VN to try and knock to the top high ground of this tier 3. We get the buyback from ACG. O'Malley gets himself in there. 4-star send, doesn't find the stun, or rather finds the stun, but gets strike forced out. C1 jumps in, Hex out onto Conspiracy. Can't do anything, has been diffused out as well. And seems like things have slowed down for a second. Quite a bit of action. And don't have ulti available on Strike just yet. Out of mana for the moment. Let's take a quick look at buyback statuses, as this is what it's going to come down to. No buyback available for flanks just because it's short of cash. But ACG has no buybacks for the next 7 minutes 20. C1 getting a little bit of damage there from the Sunstrike. Conspiracy standing like a sentry. Doesn't want to get these guys too close to the tower. And no shenanigans coming out from Phalanx as he's helping defend the top lane. I would have expected maybe some bot lane shenanigans from there. EN, GPM 222.92, APG 220 and 2051. So EN's definitely with a higher GPM, and they're trying to find the next target. Boat coming in, and it's not going to latch. Beautiful BKB from C1. He's going to be able to TP himself out of there, and no one goes down as the side of EN get themselves out of there.
Well, someone's going down, and it's the big guy, Roshan. And this was really nice for APG. They realized, okay, we chased them all back. We know they don't have TPs to come on in. Most of them are holding on to Boost of Travel level 2, so they could TP onto a hero. But being that they forced them out, they're going to find this Roshan for themselves. This is very big for APG. This is going to give them a very good opportunity to get close to that high ground and potentially get those Serpent Lords down.
And they needed to put it on ACG. He has no buyback. O'Malley blinks out. They try to find O'Malley, and Habibi blinks forward, drops the smoke. The dagger comes in, tricks of the trade, burrow strike. O'Malley going to go down to the Abyssal as well. And now the big man himself, that huge amount of damage reduction is going to be a big hindrance here for the side of APG. He does have buyback. Do they force the fight? And the TPs come in. Godlike coming in for Chosen One. Phalanx being abused and used.
Yeah, so these Boost of Travel 2 are paying off really big because of the split pushing attempts. And now that they've found 2 kills, even though there's Aegis up on the Invoker, they don't care. They're going to go for the high ground, see if they can maybe force out a buyback or 2. But this tower is pretty low. Any sort of offense coming from them here could potentially be the demise.
Well, they're going to jump on into Conspiracy in the mid lane. There comes out the South of us. Drop the coil. Conspiracy gets exploded. The smoke comes down. They're going to clear out the 1 lane of Rax, or the 1 Rax in the mid lane. And O'Malley bars back. Phalanx bars back. Conspiracy, he decides, not just yet, boys, see if he can make it happen. And the side of Ian trying to get out of there. Kind of did a little bit of a juke there, but Odu's going in. The TP comes in. The Burrow strike's good. O'Malley, he's going to go down. That is a dieback, boys and girls. And Tornado comes in with the torrent. There's going to be no backup. Ian maybe tightening the noose here on the side of APG. They may just have fallen out of this game with Conspiracy not being able to get enough done, or rather the Husker falling off and the PA just hitting too hard.
3 buybacks and one of them being a dieback on top of that. This is a bit of a concern here for the side of APG, who have to now put up a great defense. If they do fail this one, it could be very costly. But Tornado, Torrent catching out the PA as well as Tornado, so they're trying to slow this down a little bit. But Energy are still looking interested in poking the head onto the high ground.
Do you know how hard this must be for Mali to be sitting behind his desk, watching what's going on and watching his team trying to defend? They jump in, deafening blast, the ship comes in, not going to do enough. Conspiracy's down. He's down for a long time. That was a buyback. Snakes have been dropped. And ECG trying to run away as C1 gets Lotus orbed up. Strike is actually fighting from the background. They're going to do a world of hurt here to Odie. Going to get netted up. He gets Jules out. Well, no, he gets... that is a Lotus Orb, so there's Jules on top of him. There comes the torrent. Eventually, they brought him down. Absolutely confusing turmoil of events. Chosen One jumps in. Chelsea makes it out. Deafening Blast eventually does take down the puck. Instant buyback coming out from Mr. Odu. X marks the spot out onto the SK. Fighting under the Serpent Wards. Is it going to be enough? They do bring him down. And good old Bob Pules is done. ACG very low HP. Can Chosen One decide to jump back in and take him down? Jemmy's on the deck. And the grit to the face takes him down. 1,300 damage. And now potentially the Rex is open. Strike gets tornadoed up there. Has got Invis up and used. And Yule's going to keep ACG out of attack for the moment as the one melee Rex in the mid lane stands the test of times as the EN onslaught is eventually paused.
Yeah, so it's still pretty bad for APG. A lot of buybacks being forced out, and they did find multiple kills. I think Huskar's got no buyback. He was down. Unfortunately, they just don't really have an answer for sustain for themselves, and losing the Ricky as well as the puck, they decided the safe option was to back themselves on that. But right now, Energy are in the golden seat right now. 40k net worth lead just about. That is pretty comfortable for them, and it seems like APG maybe a bit of desperation here, pushing out these lanes as far as they can, but it's not a safe journey, friends.
Oh, look at this. Did you see it at the same time? We both saw it at exactly the same time. I mean, it comes to the point of the game where you just need to get as much damage out as what you can.
Yeah. Dagon's interesting, I think. I mean, it's going to help burst down the PA because the PA has now got a pretty big HP pool and his BKB's on 5 seconds, so they can sort of use it for that situation. Hibibi's being a nuisance with his now having 2 diffusal blades. Of course, he just wants the charges. It seems like they justify it as being worth their while, so I suppose it's pretty fair. But now APG desperation play, like I touched on, they don't have buybacks right now. This is a very scary movement for them, but they realize that this is do or die time, and they're going to look for this fight in the bot lane.
Well, here we go. The break does come out onto O'Malley. Tornado comes in. The good old Strike dancing in the air. The last airbender as the creeps for the side of APG or the Tires start making their way into EN. They're going to stop that onslaught as APG's hiding here on the sidelines, probably waiting for the O'Malley engage. Sunstrike trying to spot out the locations of where EN is at the moment. The all comes out. Odu jumps in, gets the burrow off, blinks back immediately, sending in the Forge Spirits, trying to reduce the armor there of that Rex. Tornado comes in, not going to find anyone. C1 throws out the dagger. Conspiracy, he's going to probably lead the charge. Sitting in the front lines, he does actually have the cheese. Odu comes in, gets the blink off. There comes the Hurricane Pike doing a little bit of damage there. Phalanx jumps in, drops down the Snake Ward. The face shift comes out from Puck. In the meantime, Conspiracy jumps in but uses the BKB up onto Chosen One. And that melee Rex taking a chunk of damage. They're going to blink out onto O'Malley on the sidelines. Chosen One finds Conspiracy. He's going to try and get himself out of there as ACG clears out their bottom melee Rex. And now the fight is going to erupt. The epicenter comes in. They clean out Energy. Conspiracy is doing a world of damage. And Odu is doing what he can. We're going to lose Strike, very low HP. Habibi is down. Chosen One dead for the count, as well as Phalanx 2X marks the spots out on the field, as Lotus Orb is going to cause an absolute devastation to this team. Ultra kill coming out from ACG. Could they have it? Do they have it? Is this the part where they close out the game? Has EN just thrown, where APG has pushed into the bottom ground? They're going to take down the tier 3 in the mid lane of Rax. Only buyback available for Strike, and nothing left for EN. Do they watch their base be taken apart? They're doing it the old easy way. Is this going to be APG 0-1? Chelsea goes in there. Strike still inverts up, going to get the break off, uses the Hurricane Park, and he's going to try to right click down, trying to defend the top lane of Rax. Is this the last stand? Conspiracy gets silenced out, can't get much done. ACG got the BKB up and running, and Deafening Blast trying to force everyone back, but Strike got the BKB off, not disarmed just yet. Conspiracy right clicking, gets right clicked down, he is down. ACG has Shadow walked up, Chelsea low HP, but he gets cleaned out, and Strike does manage to return the favor, as Strike and Bob Yules, the only 2 team members to survive, as the mid lane of Rax has been opened here, and 1 tier 4 for the side of APG remain. Wow.
Man, their house was on fire there for a little while. The creep were beating away at these buildings at APG, but APG making a pretty decent trade there. They do find 2 sets of racks for themselves, but their base is also looking pretty bare right now, so they've got some defending to do. And the fact that there were just no buybacks on the side of Energy, and they're obviously identifying that, realizing multiple of them were on cooldown, was pretty scary.
Well, all things being equal, we are pretty much, I'd say APG's just a little bit further behind. They've lost.
Oh, look at Venom's bottom. Let's go.
Is it? Okay, shh.
Yeah, he's got to use this now. They're diving very deep. This is a do or die play, definitely.
All right, well, they go in, they get the bar back from ACG, and here comes the defense. This mid-tier 4 tower is super low. They're going to do it the more secure, safe way. They're going to push down this bottom lane of Rax. They got Conspiracy down for another 13 seconds. Sunstrike is there, and C1, it does get definitely blasted out. He's been disarmed, as Strike is just going to go ahead and try and right click down this tower, doing a world of hurts. Takes that down pretty easy. O2 gets the blink in, blinks, the Burrow Strike in, blinks out immediately after that. And again, the side of APG managed to defend that. Conspiracy's alive, and they're going to reset for the moment, potentially wait for this old man to come back. And as they do that, Mr. Habibi is going to make himself present in that area. Dude, like, we've got a big item up here. Sunstrike comes out from ACG, trying to see what's going to happen. Now, let us not forget, this is game 1 of a best of 3, where APG and EN have been slogging through this morning. They had to get through BVD, APG had to get through BVD, EN had to get through Pulse, and by no means were they easy games. They both went to the best of 3s, and now taking this game to a 77-minute game with no victor in sight just yet. I mean, this is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, this is a pretty good position, I suppose, for Energy. They do a lot of damage. If they do win a fight, they're going to get ahead. And now Chosen One, his buyback is going to be off cooldown. It was on cooldown in the previous one. That's why he wasn't able to buy back for that high ground defense. But this time, it will be up. So if they do attempt something, he can definitely get himself back into this game. Now, they're going to pick up Roshan. More than likely want to put it on Strike. Yes, they're always going to actually swap that out for his BKB, which is a pretty fair exchange there for him. Meanwhile, Ali going to try to push out the top lane and probably maybe try and get Phalanx to follow him and try and get those Serpent Wards down to get Megas. But the side of Energy are going to have none of that. They definitely want to go and try and shut this game down as soon as possible, as they do have that rapier.
Oh, Odu jumps in. The TP's come in. The Stampede's going to be used up, but the call going to hold O'Malley in place. C1 jumps in, crit for 1-6, and devastation. You know what? If you can't get an Underlord on your team, bar BOTs too, and it will not matter.
Yeah, so another big item is this Bloodthorn here on the PA. So his crits, he's just going to be constantly throwing out pretty big crits in the upcoming team fights. They're now going to try to push out this top lane. Is there buyback on the Centaur? Yes, he does have, so he can potentially be back in this team fight. And a buyback on him, if they can secure a kill and get that rapier out of the hands of Strike, it will definitely be worth their while. But they're going to see if that opportunity arises first.
They've got to fight through an Aegis. They've got to fight through BKB before they can get that rapier from Strike. So, I mean, we've got Ian with a advantage of around about 35,000 gold. It was at 1.45, but still APG hold on. They still not relentless. They're still not allowing Ian into the base. This has been ridiculous. I mean, these boys have been fighting non-stop.
Yeah, absolutely. So it seems like Energy, they're going to go back and sort of do some tidying up work here as the lanes have pushed in. Of course, there is a Rax down in the bot lane, whereas the Rax is still up on the opposing side. So this lane will constantly push in, and on the other hand, the top lane will do the same thing for the opposing side of APG. So, I mean, both teams got to sort of keep a good eye on where their lanes are, because I would love to see a throne race here. That would be really entertaining, yeah. But, I mean, you don't really want to race against a rapier, so I feel like APG will definitely TP back if they see that coming to fruition. So
they've also got less structures in front of the APG throne.
Yeah.
They've got a half a tier 4. I mean, that is what, like 3 hits from Strike, and the tower could literally be brought down. It's got a lot of armor, so maybe a little bit more. But seriously, the tower is going to go down really, really quickly.
Yeah, like you say, there's just no barrier anymore for this, for the Ancient. And Energy, they're setting themselves up potentially to secure this rack. Seems like they want to get those megas online, which will be pretty big for them. There is a gem online here for Habibi, so he'll be able to just clear out these wards wherever he does see them. But Energy grouping up, looking to potentially take a high ground fight here.
Well, it looks like Ian wants to be the aggressors. They're going to try and break into this. So hold on to your hats, ladies and gents. This could be the moment where Ian send home APG. There comes in the blink. They're going to find ACG. They're going to drop the smoke. Tricks of the trades going to be used out. Odie's going to hit the deck with that Dagon coming out. And now the coil being dropped down onto 3. Felix throwing out the Ether Shock. While this is all happening, they've already cleared out the 1 lane of Rex. O'Malley trying to do the defenses. As that all happens, Ian, they back off once again. Oh! Sunstrike from ACG across the map. Just missed that, but Jemmy's on the deck.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent defense, but pretty cheeky play there from Odu. He just dives in, he's like, kill me, and Venno just runs up the hill and just takes the racks. So one more little structure standing in the way of those giant creep 2 whilst they were in. But the fact that they got 2 kills here is pretty big for them. However, both do have buybacks, so it will be a 5v5 fight if they opt to go for the base. And
oh! Phalanx just got caught out by the hit squad, Chelsea and Strike.
Cool.
Oh, wow. Do they actually TP back? They could actually base.
They have to. I think they have to here. They're not going to win the race. They didn't have the Venno with them, so this race would go very poorly for them, and also put the Venno at high risk.
Okay, well, Chelsea is trying to jump in there. Chosen One jumping onto ACG. The boat comes in, not going to land onto anyone. ACG does BKB out. Definitely Blast being used out. C1 being disarmed. And now O'Malley trying to right-click down the racks as good old Ricky Maru has been disarmed out. Going to throw out tricks of the trade. Hurricane Park used out onto Strike. Trying to bring down Conspiracy. They do. 3 down for the side of APG. This could very well be GG if they TP into the main base. The creeps are doing the work here on the tier 4. There's no one left on the side of Ian. They have to buy back just to defend the throne. This is a disaster for APG, pushing in while top lane was doing its work.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's exactly the trade that I was talking about. As soon as you sort of leave your base, you know that the top lane is going to push in if you are APG, and the bot lane will be pushing in if you're Energy. So I think APG, it's sort of desperation plays. They know they're playing into a Rapier. Aegis, actually, the Aegis is down now, so it's only a Cheese and Rapier. So this is a scary sort of situation for them to be continuing with the Bobules. Just cheeky, walks down, Dagons him, puts himself in a peculiar position, but they can go through backdoor. Backdoor for what? As this should be an easy one for Strike to bring down, and no real response coming out from APG. Big problems here for them.
Yeah, Megas are on the deck, tier 4's open. ACG is down. This is a 4-man defense from APG. Could this be the first game going to EN, going to send us to another game after this? The Gunsu comes out, going to sheep out Oju. The coil comes down, Sien wrecking faces. Bobules runs back into the base, Poke going to do nothing. Conspiracy gets stunned out. Oju getting the stun off onto Bobules. The poison from Strike coming out, cleans it out with a big shot from Strike. The Divine doing its work. The throne is down. EN take game 1 of this amazing 84-minute game. Oh my gosh, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, so we see a Rapier get picked up. What more could we ask for? I mean, we said we were going to see a real fist fight from these two teams, and we did. We saw that exactly in this game. So I'm really keen to see how this is going to evolve going forward.
Well, ladies and gents, for those of you in the stand, go grab a drink really quickly. We'll see you shortly for game number 2. To Gareth on stage.
Well, Gareth has suddenly suffered from multiple personality disorder, and he is now split into 3 people, myself, Wilson Triple XL, Snare next to me, and the lovely Lady Succubus. Well, that was one hell of a game. Similar to actually the first best of 3 we enjoyed earlier today, right this morning.
It's basically been the trend of the entire day. Just super long game 1, shorter game 2, and then stomp game 3. So
almost playing it as if it were the final, the one to win the 500,000 rand.
I mean, you could see the players after that game, how animated they were, how happy they were about how well that went. Even APG, who lost, they were laughing. They were like, come on. It's like 90 minutes into the game.
I think they may have been laughing at the appearance of a Divine Rapier.
No, I think it was to be expected at some point in that game, to be honest. It's just, I thought, I'm like, it's game now, it's game. Like Invoker said, it's game. He's like, no, it's fine. They've got 2 buybacks. I'm like, no, it has to be game now. I mean, the main guy that was preventing the push is dead. Like, there's no deafening blast, there's no tornadoes, no impedes, there's no, like, the Dagon. There's nothing they can do now. With Invoker dead, it was game. It's literally 1 relay racks away from Mega Creeps, and then
you know, it was weird how this game, once again, Energy 40,000 gold lead, right? And it actually didn't matter at all. Like, they were both sides were playing as if the game was dead even, because it was. And that's what happens in the late. That's why late game Dota is so exciting, because it resets the game. It all comes down to individual decisions. Who has buyback, who doesn't have buyback, how many seconds left on your BKB, like where's your gem, how many TPs you have available, how your waves are pushed out. It's just so many weird things happen in the late game that it becomes impossible to predict, even for the teams. So it's all, you can see both teams are surprised that you win the late game. You're like, oh, great, awesome. But now we have to do it again.
Yep, definitely. They're going to have to do it all over again, irrespective of either side. APG, they obviously lost this one, but there was a glimmer of hope right at the end there.
Yeah, and to some degree, yes. But like, as Snare said as well, I mean, we saw the whole game throughout. It was pretty much even. And I was like, well, when you're trading even with a Huskar, it's not why you pick a Huskar. Yeah. So I'm like, well, it started going from 1K to 1K on that side, depending on who won the team fights. And then it started on one stage where Energy was like 27K ahead, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, Energy's going to win now. And again, they pulled it back somehow, APG. It was just like, okay, how's this happening from 27K net worth to, you know, it not mattering anymore? And that was still when it was relevant. Then it got to the super late game where, as we said before, even in the previous best of threes, when it's becoming the long game, when you get to a certain point, net worth doesn't matter anymore. It's your buybacks that count. And that's what it came to. I mean, this PA, I mean, the Centaur Warrener, she got a crit on him, RNG crit for like over 2,000. I was like, yeah. Basically made Centaur look like a creep. And I mean, this PA, this is why I love to see her, but I also used to hate playing against her. But she just deals with heroes like Huskar, like Centaur, those heroes so well, because if she gets that RNG crit on you. And I respect Flanks as well for what he was doing, creating space, like we were speaking about as well. Yet it would be more effective with a blink dagger, you know, him blinking into the tree line, trying to put those plague wards down. Plague wards, the serpent wards on, sneak his way forward. But problem is he had the force stop, which they really relied on in the early game. So every time he would try, he would break trees, but it also forced Energy to keep coming back and dealing with this stupid Shadow Shaman. So it really did prolong the game.
Space, like I said, that glimmer of hope possibly could have been that moment when they managed to win that fight at bottom racks. They had the opportunity to go for throne instead of going for mid-racks and then top. Do you think that was the wise decision, going for that mid-racks rather than going for the end of the game?
In retrospect, yeah, because I also, like at the time when I was looking at it, I was like, you could possibly win the game right now. but they knew for a fact that that Energy had at least one buyback, and they definitely had the fortifier. So if you go for the throne, right, you'll definitely take a tier 4 tower. You'll get through the second one maybe, but by the time you're attacking the ancient, you'll be so close to a respawn that one of them can buy back the fortifier, and then you lose the fight, and then you potentially haven't gotten a laner racks, and you're already double racks down. So you have to try and do something to equalize the game at that point because you're losing. And I think the interesting thing was how, like, they kept, as they were pushing throughout the game on the side of APG, they tried to do what Energy did to win the game beforehand, like rush in, drop Rasta wards, and then get out, and just do this very slowly. And they did that successfully on the bottom lane, but Energy, having just played with the strat, knew how to defend against it, knew how to deal with it, was able to stop them. So you had to
they just rolled the dice and suddenly crits came.
Oh, my hat goes up to flanks, like I said, because he prolonged the game by doing that. It's kind of it's almost the same type vibe that Santo was pulling off with the Nyx Assassin on the first day. Suicide, cool. I gain two things: information, and they have to deal with me and TP back, and then it puts them, well, for them in this situation, it prolonged the game for them to the point where they could try get some items to defend, then Invoker get absolutely, like, his ACG was huge on that Invoker.
There was one point where I actually thought that Energy was going to lose, just after the MKB got picked up on the Husker, right?
Yeah.
Like, Conspiracy went in, right? And then you could see Chosen One was like, whatever, he's been killing this Husker this entire time. Then he died in like 5 hits, and he was like, wow, okay, they wasn't expecting this. So I thought off of that, they could have maybe snowballed to victory, but Ian was able to control themselves, compose themselves, and like take the game a lot slower. Yeah. Like they started playing around the Husker. They never allowed PA to actually directly challenge
controlling the pace of the game, making sure that it is a slow game so that the Husker can't stop.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that if you told APG before this game, you're going to be playing 90 minutes, right? They would not have picked Husker.
No, not a chance. Nobody ever picks a Husker is expecting to win or even come close to winning a 90-minute game. But it did happen. The other question, the follow-up as a result, is this the best APG can bring? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so, but they definitely, pitched up and played, because, I mean, this is a different APG that we've seen the entire tournament so far. Like, yeah, they did well. They did well against Bravado, but they kind of did it with the anti-mage, so we kind of want to go in there. Yeah, but this game, they really did prove themselves. And like I said, I commend Flanks, because he prolonged the game to get ACG to get those ridiculous items up. Like, get the whole game reset so they can think, okay, well, we haven't got the late game draft. What are we going to do here? And they almost won. Like, APG, literally, they were this close from winning. This close.
What's kind of concerning for me, though, is for Energy, all the games they've lost today have been in situations, with the exception of game 1, they've been playing these really long games, but they've been mostly winning their drafts. So that for me is a little bit concerning, because you would normally expect that a good enough draft win will translate into a very easy game win, and that hasn't necessarily materialized for them just yet. So what happens when they go up against a team who will draft or even outdraft them if they get outdrafted? What's going to be the situation? And we saw in game 1 when they played earlier today, I think they kind of lost that draft, but they were also able to extend the game super long. So what happens if they really are outdrafted?
Yes.
Then we don't know exactly what's going to happen.
It's going to be a challenge, that's for sure. And there is a challenge out there in the crowd. And his name is Ryan, and he's gone looking around for some cosplayers. Let's see what he has to say.
So we're here at day 2 at EGE at the Cape Town ICC, and with me here is Ansel. So can you tell the audience quickly about your character, who you're playing, and yeah, let's start with that.
Okay, so I'm cosplaying Harajuku Ni from the game Smite by Hi-Ray Studios, and it's like a kawaii skin that they've created, and I'm doing it along with Combo Kitten. She's doing kawaii Papa set. So we're like a little set today.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I have a couple of gaming questions, and I'm going to refer to my phone. No pressure, no pressure.
Okay.
All right, so who is the main character in the first 3 titles of Mass Effect?
Commander Shepard.
Very good.
Not Mass Effect.
So do I, by the way. Yeah. So which company owns the PlayStation console?
Sony.
Very good.
I'm so scared this is a trick question. Okay, yeah.
Rockstar's most popular title is GTA.
Yeah.
What is GTA short for?
Grand Theft Auto.
Very good. And last question, how many unique game titles are available to join a league or tournament for a VS Gaming's website?
I don't know.
The answer is 13, so I'm going to ask you one more question.
Okay.
What does VS stand for in VS Gaming?
Versus?
That's right, and the other?
I don't know.
Virtual Sports.
Oh,
But very good. It is versus. Very well done. Yeah. Where can people get in touch with you or follow you on Facebook or Twitter, or what are your sort of platforms that you use?
So my cosplay handle is Baka Sakura Cosplay, Baka Sakura Cosplay, and I'm on Facebook, I am on Twitter, and I'm on Instagram. You can search for I am Baka Sakura.
Very cool. Well, there you have it. And so thank you very much again, and best of luck for the rest of the day, and hope you have fun.
Thank you so much.
Awesome, guys.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Great work there, Ryan, getting out of your comfort zone with the cosplayers. I'm here with Venka, one of the guys we pricked out of the crowd, who's been having a great time, it seems like. That's how we noticed you. Not only the full red outfit, but you seem to be having a great time. You really enjoying the matches so far?
Yes, I am. I've been watching Dota and playing Dota for about maybe 3 or 4 years, so I'm still a bit of a potato, as they call it. A lot more pro players inside there, but really enjoying the atmosphere. I've had a beer, craft beer, so big ups to Cape Town craft beer. It's good. I'm enjoying it.
Are you supporting any particular team?
Well, I'm a bit of a in the middle kind of a guy, but at the moment, because Energy is playing, I'll play, I'll say they'll win. I hope they win. I'm holding thumbs that they do. Yeah.
So what is your favorite hero?
Anti-mage.
Okay, I want to give you a prize, but I can't just give you just for asking questions like that. I'm going to give you a bit of a quiz question then on your favorite hero. So a stat came up earlier on Anti-Mage's win rate. He's had 3 games. How many times has he won today?
100%?
Of course, he's Anti-Mage, 100%. Well done. So congrats, Venka. We will have a prize for you, but we're going to throw over to the panel now.
Welcome back, and I believe the draft is already well underway, so we will be cutting over to that in the next few seconds. In the interim, though, is there anything you'd like to see come out that is different from either side?
Anti-mage more.
Well,
Honestly, 5 anti-mages. Oh, that would be different, and that would be great.
5 anti-mages.
Yeah,
I'm not sure the game permits for that.
Sadly. That's the only flaw in Dota.
Succubus?
No anti-mage, please. I don't want to see another Rice game.
Some people like Rice.
What about Alchemist?
I'll tell you what. Why don't we wait and see as we go into the draft? Right, so there's a little bit of rice farming suggested. I'm not sure the players will agree.
So probably not.
With the Knicks ban.
I'm pretty sure they're all tired by now, right? You don't want to be.
You want an aggressive draft, right?
Yeah. You
want to win the game in 20 minutes so you can move on. I mean, these players have been playing, let's think about it, 6-7 hours in a row now?
Yeah.
They have to be tired.
Certainly the side of Energy is going to be feeling a fair amount of fatigue.
Yep, playing hour-long games in a row, it's pretty tiring.
First game was 112 minutes. Second one was, correct me if I'm wrong, just over 30?
No, it was like 40-something.
It was 40-something.
Look, if you want to win a game,
those two alone.
If you want to win a game, you pick an anti-mage, of course. I mean, you secure your early game, and you definitely secure the late game with an anti-mage. There are ways of dealing with them, though. South Africans are not very good at dealing with an anti-mage. That's the only difference.
You know what's been really surprising for me this tournament?
Yes.
Oh, God. Coddle gets
Here it comes.
All right, this is like an auto-win. Like, this hero's super good. But what's been really strange for me is how Shadow Shaman's been getting through most of the time, right? And ostensibly, this is a hero that allows you to win via pushing very early on. But every game, that we've seen with Rasta this tournament has been super long. So, I don't know, maybe you need to find other answers to push with. Keeper of the Light is a really great option, though, for Energy eSports. Okay.
Well, now we have our Odu and Chelsea heroes as well.
He's been banned every single game. This is the first time we get to see him on the field. Why are they so afraid of this hero?
So it makes your laning phase super powerful.
But he's easily countered by a Night Stalker.
Yeah, this is also why Night Stalker keeps getting banned. Like, so what kept happening, Coddle got picked all the time, and then Night Stalker started being picked as the counter. Then both just got banned out. But the thing about Coddle, firstly, it allows your laning phase to be super powerful with that chakra magic. So your offlane or carry hero can continually spam out their spells.
Okay.
But more than that, you can't push into the lane. There's always constant illuminate blasts that are just bearing down on you.
Blinding lights.
Or blinding lights. You can't fight.
So annoying.
You can't, and he gets early ags, which gives you a massive vision advantage, even more so than the Night Stalker. So, but Night Stalker is also, again, you press R and you negate half his advantage immediately, and you take away his heal potential, which he comes out with when he gets the Aghanim Scepter.
And some of the biggest disadvantages of having a Night Stalker is the vision game. I mean, your ward literally gives you nothing. Don't have any information on the map, which is it's terrible to play with, especially when in this type of Dota, the aggressive type of Dota that we see now in the current meta, vision is extremely important.
Maybe in some sense, APG also picked this to deny it away from energy. Because I think that you can actually run Cuddle Night Soccer. It's not the worst thing in the world. You just have to go for like very stun-heavy position 1 and 2 heroes. And then they take away the push on the energy side, so they don't want to allow APG to run over them with this Rasta.
Do you perchance think that there's another way of building this Keeper of the Light, given that an Agadams is severely hampered by the presence of the Night Stalk in the field?
Definitely.
Yeah, maybe buy like 4 Staff and then Glimmer Cape.
4 Staff, Glimmer Cape.
Basically, completely ignore the Agadams set.
Yeah, because
no, you don't. Not completely. It's still like the heal potential is still too good to like completely ignore. But you just don't get it first.
It's just not. It's just not as good.
Yeah.
If you didn't have a Night Stalker, but there are other ways around it, like mechs, 4 staffs, that type of thing. You could be that hero, but seeing as he's probably going to be an Odu hero, the position 5, I don't think he's going to be the one to build that. But yeah, there are ways around it. It doesn't mean Agadams is trash now just because there's a Night Stalker. Like
personally, I think one of the reasons to get Ags is beyond the heal, just to get that recall ability like, constantly across the map is super good.
Constantly you ulti, constantly. So you always have a blinding light, you always have a recall. It's just, it's still, Agadams is still good. It's not as good, sure, but it's still viable enough to pick up. Maybe not rush it, but...
I think the rationale mostly behind picking up the Kotl is as a substitute to what we've been seeing with the high agility across the map, where movement is key.
Yeah.
Being able to jump from one side of the map easily without expending too many resources is absolutely essential. Keeper of the Light does assist in that in the form of his recall, as you correctly mentioned. So let's see what the third pick is. It's another Clockwork.
Yeah, so this is...
Manly's going to be sad.
No Manly Clockwork, unfortunately, unless they swap teams.
Yeah.
Suddenly in the game. This is a problem for Night Stalker though, because like very often what you want to be able to do when you pick a hero like this, you don't want to be in a situation where your team is the one that can be counter-initiated on. So you want to be able to like dive into a lane, silence somebody, slow them, get the kill, but the support Clockwork can put a cog in those plans.
He can fly over them.
I mean, no, he actually gets pushed back. Like if you try to fly directly over them.
True.
So it's like, it's a rough situation.
It is a rough situation, but it's kind of like...
Look at this cosmetic that they have on APG for this Night Stalker. It looks like he's cosplaying something, I don't know.
He's kind of like half an Iron Man.
Maybe we should ask Ryan to interview.
Oh no, shame.
So, because Earthshake is apparently not a hero this patch, and in this tournament, Sand King's banned out. No one's picked Warlock since in quite some time.
We've only seen the Earthshaker twice, literally twice.
I'm actually really surprised we've only seen that hero twice. So with this Underlord coming out, it does mean that they are going to be trying to like negate some of the push potential coming out from EN. They're going to try and solidify their lanes. I think they realize that the answer to be able to deal with EN is stop their lane potential. Very often we see that EN tends to make the most amount of mistakes in the mid game. So if you can get there relatively in one piece without being too far behind, you still have a good shot at beating this team.
Yes. No, they can definitely with the draft that they have currently. It's just, for me, Underlord is one of those heroes that tend to become very underwhelming. Yes, he's extremely hard to kill, but it hasn't made what can I say, like the biggest impact so far in this tournament. I mean, there was one game where it was, amazing, but without much follow-up. Underlord really is not the greatest of heroes. Look, he's still amazing with the Fire Blast, obviously the aura, the free Uber taxi in the form of his ulti. Just the Uber Lord, yeah. No, but also the Pit of Malice is amazing for some lockdown. And the fact that it's also a root, not a stun, is also a benefit. But I just feel like there's other heroes that can accomplish that, plus a lot more.
It's really good against Pit Lord actually in the laning phase. If they pick Weaver, they won't. But it would be really good. It's also like a hero that can combo very well with the Cuddle. They could even go Cuddle Bristleback here and just like try to force the Underlord out of the lane and then get like a super hard carry for the mid lane.
Oh, how did I know that was going to happen?
Great versus Night Stalker, very great versus the Underlord as well.
They did leave him in the pool.
Yeah. This is the first time it hasn't been banned actually in the last 5-6 games.
It's been banned a lot.
Yeah.
For many games.
I'm surprised it got through. Well, a lot of things have gotten through that we haven't seen. I mean, we've got the Cuddle, we've got the Night Stalker, and now the Necro as well.
I think what they need to do, like, to try and answer this Necrophos, because so far they don't have a lot of control so far on APG, but they don't actually have magical burst, and I think that's what they're trying to lean into. So get your magical burst for your mid hero, and then go physical later. So yeah, there's your magic burst. You get Queen of Pain, a hero that will definitely beat out the Necrophos in the mid lane, and it'll like dissuade Ian from going for the full Ghost Shard build on this hero? Because you know how much you'll just basically melt.
You'll die. I mean, if she maxes Shadow Strike and you do the whole Ghost Shard, I mean, there's no point.
Yeah.
There really isn't. Queen of Pain is great against this, but I mean, Necro, he just needs 1 or 2 good ultis, man. He really does.
Down goes the Juggernaut, however.
Yeah.
Succubus, any particular thoughts why specifically that hero had to go for the side of Aperture Gaming? Is it a comfort pick?
I wouldn't say a comfort pick. I mean, Conspiracy's comfort pick so far. I mean, he's good on the Jug, but he's more leaned towards the Voids, the Anti-Mages, that type of thing. So he's
Void is still available.
It is still available. And it actually wouldn't be too bad here, if you think about it.
I don't know, like if it feels like Void gets crushed versus Necro. Like
If you trap him, maybe. But I mean, there's enough burst damage to take that Necro down easily with the Queen of Pain, with the Shadow Shaman. So if you can just...
I don't know, but like, because in this game they also have... So LC is pretty good against the Void, but also the... Chakra, not the Chakra Magic, the Mana Leak coming out from the Keeper of the Light. When you put it onto the Faceless Void, he can't like jump away even when he takes damage. And Clockwork can like melt away all his mana. This one is one of the few carry heroes that needs a lot of mana to actually be relevant.
I feel like once Queen of Pain gets Lincolns and that thing, he would rather use that to negate the Lincolns of the Queen of Pain rather than use it on the Void.
Just buy Yules to negate
maybe buy Yules as well. But it's just for me. Like I feel like I don't think that
it could be what we saw yesterday. Was it? I think it was.
I mean, Necro's pretty good against Jug. Think about it.
I think it's what they did yesterday. Didn't they? They ran Quap and Void.
Yeah, they did.
There were periods of the game where people were just trying to control the Faceless Void, and Quap was able to run free. So they could try and just bait them into a bad situation to force them to go on this Faceless Void.
I feel like Void for them wouldn't be a bad idea here because they have won games with him in that situation before. But I mean, like Jug. Yeah, Jug's good against...
Kind of looks like they're arranged by height, I've got to be honest. So maybe a Clinks fits in the bottom.
No.
I think you just need a Diffusal carrier. Somebody's going to buy that item to deal with the Necrophos, so it could be Clinks. Clinks can sometimes build that hero, but not but not really.
I don't think so, no.
Weaver can work out as well. Faceless Void builds the Diffusal. Just anything that does build that item. You could even build it on Anti-Mage. Actually, this is not a bad Anti-Mage game at all. Once you get Ags or Lincoln Sphere, you're perfectly fine.
Yeah, and it's not banned, guys.
You'll make Lord Rushford happy.
He's a man of culture. He likes Anti-Mage.
He is.
And
here he comes.
Oh,
Troll Warlord.
Yeah, Diffusal builder. So this is going to be the Manta Diffusal build for the Troll. He's going to just run in and try and bash up this Necrophos. It is kind of... Okay, so the weird thing with Troll, right? It's either very good versus the LC, because if you throw out the Blinding Light, LC basically does nothing and is forced to farm with just press the attack.
That's if you get it.
Before
the fact.
If you get it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Troll, like, it's so hard to lane versus Troll as Legion Commander. So probably Keeper of the Light is going to have to stick around. Either him or Clockwork is going to have to provide some assistance in the lane. So that means Energy needs to find a somewhat independent hero for Strike in the safe lane.
But I mean, if Chelsea gets a deal off onto the Troll Warlord while he's in ulti form,
I still feel
with
like
the Blade
there's very
Mail,
answer to the
that Troll's going to melt.
The Anti-Mage does come down.
Yes.
Anti-Mage does come down.
I guess Lord Rushford will be having a party later.
Yes. All right, so we just
invite us.
We just saw them crush and demolish a Queen of Pain with Anti-Mage.
Yeah.
They can do it again, because this game they're only like, what, 2 stuns that can actually hurt Anti-Mage, and as long as he has Manta Star, they don't really affect him that much. Maybe he gets Lincoln Sphere as well, then Rasta's entirely useless. Yeah, I'm saying Energy. Energy 2-0.
All right, madam.
100% win rate, dude.
I know that you're slightly biased towards Ian. If we put that away for one moment,
it's not a being.
Do you see any glimmer of hope for APG?
I'm not biased towards Ian. Let's get that fact very straight.
Okay.
It's more the fact of the hero choices in general. It's the Legion Commander, it's the Necro, it's the Anti-Mage. It's just too much for one team to deal with, I think. And
fair enough.
I don't think a Troll outcarries an Anti-Mage.
No.
Sorry. It's not happening.
All right. Not a problem. So I guess the panel is unanimous, and EN is the favorite to win game 2, putting them at 2-0. We shall see if that comes to fruition, though, as the casters are ready for us, and the game is underway. Over to you, Jubs.
Thank you, panel, Wilson, Snare, and Succubus, for bringing it back here. Game number 2 underway. Welcome back. Hope you got your refreshments, because we suspect some more shenanigans, some more rapiers, and the Reaper has come out to play.
Yeah, I don't think we want to see any more clowny players coming out with such sketchy things as rapiers. It's too high risk now. These guys are going home if they lose, you know.
This is on the line now for APG. just to put it in context, if APG do not win this game, they are going home, and it is going to be devastating for the team if they do. EN trying to seal out the win for themselves and take the series to a 2-0 victory for themselves. The game has started, and let's get ready to see who will be the victors of the series.
Yeah, I think APG can definitely take this to another game, for sure. I think they've got a plan. I think Troll can fight into Anti-Mage in a sense. If he catches him, they've got pretty good routes. So Anti-Mage might be forced into a BKB here. But like they said at the panel, it's an Anti-Mage, right? He farms so quickly. A Troll can't really out-carry him. He can maybe fight him, but he can't really out-carry the hero. So that's a major issue that they're going to have to keep a constant eye on. Chosen One's going to be playing over on that Anti-Mage as well. So
30 seconds.
That is something to note. It seems like a little bit of a role swap here. C1 on the Anti-Mage. In the mid lane, it's going to be, well, we've got Odu on the Kotl, I'd say the old man that likes the ladies, and then Strike going to be playing the Necrophos. He's going to be playing mid. So Strike and C1 swapped roles for this game. Let's see how it turns out for the boys. Chelsea going to be playing on the Legion Commander, one of those heroes that Chelsea's known for. And the previous Masters LAN was one of those heroes that were so highly contested, and Chelsea definitely knows his way around this hero. Let's just finish up. We've got... last but not least, we have got Habibi going to be playing that clock, and I've seen him run it as a roamer before and can really get a lot of work done. But that rounds it out for the side of the Radiant and the heroes that will be playing respectively.
Yeah, going over to the Dio, Mali is going to be going into the safe lane. This is actually something I suspected. I spoke to you about it while the panel was talking, that they actually might want to go aggressively into this Anti-Mage, and this could really pay off. We can see Bobules and Phalanx actually roaming around here, and C1's going to realize that this is not a nice place to be. There is a dual lane up against O'Malley, so they can punish him, but now rotations are coming down to the bot lane here for assistance, because C1 is desperately going to require that. And yeah, so the tri-lane, Habibi and them are going to have a bit of a tough time. Conspiracy, Phalanx, as well as Bobules on respective heroes, Troll, the Shadow Shaman, as well as the Nightstalker, very aggressive heroes, pretty decent in the tri-lane. But if Habibi can get these cogs down constantly, it's going to slow down their impact by removing their mana. In the mid lane, ACG is going to be going up against Strike. This should favor the Queen of Pain, I do feel. And the 1v1 matchup, O'Malley is just going to sort of want to keep Chelsea at bay. That will be pretty much his task for this game.
So now I want to jump onto the bot lane here. We've got Kotl and the Nightstalker in the same game. Now, just explain to me the interaction between the Kotl and the Nightstalker, because the Kotl was picked up, and then immediately APG respond with picking up the Nightstalker. Now, Kotl does really well during the day with Nightstalker on the field. How does that affect the side of EN?
So I think this really negatively affects energy, because Kotl is pretty hard countered by the Nightstalker, because he can control the time of day once he hits level 6. And that can desperately punish the Keeper of the Light. So I think that it's an unfavorable trade, but it's also going to mean that the Kotl's more than likely going to be on that pos 5. He's more than likely not going to look for Ags, but Habibi doing some shenanigans. He might be in a bit of a pickle here, but actually first blood goes onto O'Malley.
Well, Chelsea picking up the kill there. I think O'Malley being a little bit overzealous, I'd imagine, as Habibi's just causing an absolute amount of nonsense here in the dire jungle. O'Malley TP straight back in. Don't actually know what the outcome was there. Anti-Mage, 100% win rate this weekend at the VS Gaming LAN at EGE. Can Chosen keep this success rate going? That is the question that will soon be answered.
Yeah, this is probably the game that could break the back of this Anti-Mage. Just this aggressive lane is pretty good here. It's slowing down C1's farm quite dramatically, but he's actually not doing too bad. I think Habibi's movements, they bought a lot of extra time for C1 to actually find a couple of last hits, and the supports are forced out. ACG's been forced back out of lane, in fact, so he's having a bit of a tough time in the mid lane, surprisingly.
Now, there's been a couple of changes to Nightstalker. For those of you that don't know, a couple of his skill sets on the Nightstalker has actually changed. It gives him, what, a 2-second flight ability. You'll be able to jump over cliffs, mountains, and makes him really good as a ganking hero.
They find another kill. Habibi coming in, finds level 2, battery assault, secures that kill over onto the Underlord. So O'Malley having a very difficult time in this matchup. I thought this will definitely favor the Legion, but he was meant to try and keep that Legion at bay, which is not working out in his favor by any means.
No, Chelsea level 4 already. O'Malley also level 4, got 2 deaths to his name already, trying to farm out and trying to keep him zoned as much as he can. We'll keep an eye on that top lane a little bit longer, because Chelsea doing some amazing work in the top lane.
Yeah, so it seems like 4 minutes is hit now, so the Nightstalker are going to look for a rotation, and they are going to find the Coddle. It is night time. Kill will be secured here by Phalanx with the Ether Shock. Habibi has to rotate on in, but it's going to be to no real avail. And yeah, this is one of those things. When it hits the night time, you got to sort of be weary that the Nightstalker is more than likely going to look to utilize that to his advantage.
And Habibi's sitting in the sidelines here. Maybe they can try and find something. Phalanx got no clarity at up, and already a couple of kills on the board. As we said before, these two teams love brawling, love fighting, and going to make this a really interesting and action-packed game. I don't think either of these teams want to take it to the late game. Many of they've taken to a full round this time, and Habibi goes down. A lot of neutrals being there, but Bob Yules being able to clear that out without being denied by the creeps.
Yeah, so still they haven't traded up the lanes. Legion Commander has gone and found herself back in the off lane, going up against O'Malley, and O'Malley needs to be very careful, because this is not favorable trades that he's taking. But again, the anti-mage is under constant pressure. He's still finding his last hits, but not as much as he would like. He's going to have a very late timing on that Battle Fury, and it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt the side of Energy quite hard.
Do you think there's enough time for the anti-mage to come back online? I mean, anti-mage, you get that Battle Fury up, jump into the jungle, stall the game out for about 20 minutes, and before you know it, he's come back with like almost a full inventory.
Yeah, so that will just be a mistake on the side of APG if they allow something like that. But actually, Conspiracy is under a bit of pressure here. BB gets the cogs as well as the battery assault. They get the cog kill, but a lot of damage bursts from the Coddle, but it's not enough. And Phalanx will make sure that he has a safe escape.
That was super close, almost losing the troll wall, and that would have been a big pickup for the side of Ian if they got that to take place. The shrine actually being used up. It is now 6 minutes in, and looks like a little bit of rotation coming here for the side of APG. Nightstalker trying to see if they can maybe get and do something here on Chelsea. We've got O'Malley trying to clarity up as Bob Yules is in the sidelines here. It is night time, so it is going to be able to slow down Chelsea, throws down those overwhelming odds. And Bob Yules going to be able to spot him out. He goes in, Chelsea, with no avail to see Bob Yules in the sidelines. The Firestorm comes down. They're going to try and chase him out, but Chelsea may just be able to get out of here. Phase Boot's being used up. Going to try and use his debuff. He's going to run around the trees, juke the living daylights out of APG. Going to run to the top. They do spot him, get slowed down by Bob Yules. Got no more mana, and he's going to be able to easy TP out. No Pit of Malice available for O'Malley, and easy escapes for Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea just shrugs that one off. He realized, okay, Nightstalker has used his Void. He can TP now, and there's no real answer. Realizing O'Malley doesn't have Pit of Malice, was he would have used it.
Oh, mid lane though, the Reaper comes out. Not good enough. Strike, not on point. And ACG being able to walk that one off. That was super close.
Yeah, but ACG's having a horrible time in this lane. He's really struggling up against Strike. Strike is up on CS. He's sent him back to base twice now, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's even up in XP. So this lane is pretty much won here by Strike currently. So Energy will be happy about that. Even though they didn't get the kill there, it's still quite favorable for the Necrophos.
So now in the beginning of the game, we said that Necro actually loses to a Queen of Pain. What do you think's been going wrong or not in favor of ACG?
I suppose I maybe expected some rotations to come in because the Necrophos is unable to really escape, but they weren't able to keep pressure because they need to sort of keep that anti-mage safe. And Necro, he's fine. ACG's gone. He got 2 points into the Shadow Strike, but he can sort of maintain himself with the heal. I think ACG just had a bit of a shaky start.
He's looking at mid, a little bit of damage given out to Strike. He's going to stay alive for the moment. In the bot side of the lane, Habibi going to try and rotate around. Got himself a DD Ruin, and good old ACG can't actually fill up his bottle. One charge left, may actually be sending him back to base. no bottle currying as far as I see.
Yeah, so, I mean, ACG, he's still all right. He can catch up. His impact's going to be still pretty useful once he does get his trades online. I think he might go for the Veil. It would be pretty good. I do feel this game because he sort of can get that extra bit of magical damage down onto the anti-mage. But we'll see. Anti-mage is doing a pretty decent job at sort of catching up. He's not having as bad of a time as we might have thought, and pretty close to getting those trades. So this constant pulling of the lane is a bit of an issue, and it's going to slow down Conspiracy's farm a little bit here. But we'll see how he's going to sort of deal with this, or if the side of APG are going to make some sort of rotations from here.
Well, Strike does actually have the Reaper up again, and may actually look at trying to do something against ACG. ACG having to actually back himself off, set himself back to base. Bot lane though, Phalanx on the Shadow Shaman was trying to do a little bit of a rotate around, decides against it. 3 players here for the side of EN, and Bob Buell's here in the sidelines does have his phase boots at the moment, hiding behind the trees. It's not night time yet, but Habibi coming in, gets sheeped out immediately, tries to get Phalanx in the cogs, he does, and Phalanx is probably going to go down, but they're trying to turn their attentions to Odu. They do manage to take down good old Phalanx. Odu running around the trees, beautifully played there from him, and Conspiracy is in a lot of trouble, but ACG rocks up to the party. Habibi going to try and get himself out of there. Bob Buell's trying to still take down Habibi. The cogs are there. And Troll can he get close enough? But he is going to be able to get the kill on our Clockwork Conspiracy, surviving with very low HP. And going to be able to walk it off. Beautiful rotation coming out from ACG, rocking up in the nick of time. And such a needed kill on him as well. He's now sitting level 8 as Strike is sitting level 9, a level that was desperately needed. Yeah,
ACG will be pretty happy with that outcome. He was struggling in lane, and now he's able to find a couple of kills for himself. Strike, this is something that a tool that he can't really utilize, is the ability to sort of rotate out of lane. He can maybe use a scythe, but he's not very mobile like the Queen of Pain is. He did have a Hastra in there, so maybe could have utilized that. But actually, rotation is coming towards the mid lane here, because this tower is taking a lot of damage, and there is a siege creep nearby, so they need to make sure that that goes down before it does any more damage to the tier 1 tower.
Well, ACG returns back to the mid lane. Strike putting on some more hurt onto ACG, and I don't think ACG's got the answer here against Strike. He does have another Reaper available if he decides to jump on it. The tier 1 tower gonna go down. Can they get the denial here? No, they can't. The siege engine helping out Strike and securing themselves that mid tier 1. And Necro, one of those heroes that are just impossible to kill.
He's in
Maybe
trouble, though.
Bob Buell's can help out. Phalanx comes in and easily taken care of with the 3 from APG. ACG jumping in there. But Bob Buell's gets the last kill and adds one of those kill counts to his name.
Yeah, Jabba, the commentator's curse coming through there. As soon as you say Necro's impossible to kill, he does. But
it's one of the things I got to put my head in my hands and just accept.
No. It's not your fault. They did rotate. They did look for that kill, and I think a bit of an overextension.
I suppose, in fairness, they heard me say that he's impossible to kill, and they realized the only way to kill him is with 3 players.
Yeah.
So I'd actually say there was a little bit of a foresight.
Yeah, I think it's still Necro's pretty difficult to kill. He's just got no mobility. That's pretty much the cost that they pay there. But now looking towards the top lane, Odu's moved his way up here. I think they're okay with Anti-Mage sort of maybe getting a bit of a later Battle Fury than usual. I think they have more than enough faith that C1 can catch up very quickly. And they haven't managed to really shut him down. He hasn't died yet. He's still found a decent amount of last hits. In fact, he's almost topping the charts with last hits. So try to not waste him.
Wow, that was a little bit crazy. Odu was there. TP's out. As Phalanx TP is in, I mean, we're talking about the mirror plays from these 2 teams. And Phalanx TP's top to no avail. No one is in the top lane except for good old Chelsea. This may actually cost him his life as Odu actually TP'd away. Let's take a little look at a bot lane. The screen, the Sonic Wave comes out. Odu still goes down to Dagger. ACG getting himself a kill there. And TPing to the bot lane was not one of the smart plays, as ACG was in the vicinity and took him down.
Yeah, so ACG trying to get the Veil of Discord up. Once he does have that, he's going to have a pretty good kill potential, as well as giving a little bit of assistance to his team to deal some damage. But again, this Anti-Mage is just doing his thing. He's farming. He's keeping up.
Oh, Habibi has got level 6, has got hook shot. So let's get ready to see. Let's see if he can find someone.
Radiant structures are fortified.
There's a ward to see him here, so they definitely know he's level 6. So they should play defensively.
Player comes out. Okay, so they've scouted out the movements here for the side of APG. O'Malley sitting in the sidelines. Habibi knocking at the door. They whispering secrets to one another, but they don't know who it is.
Yeah. So I think they might want to try and go on the tier 1 tower, but I think they really want to use Habibi's hook shot to secure a kill somewhere. But this ward being placed here by Phalanx in the lane definitely gave that away. So I think that's going to be all she wrote. The biggest story here is, again, I can't stop beating up on this one. The anti-mage is topping the net worth charts. Considering how his lane went, he's just doing his thing and hasn't actually been punished the way that APG would have liked him to have been.
No, absolutely not. What's his item progression looking like at the moment? Got himself the perseverance. Looking mid, they're going to try and bring down Phalanx 2 around, and Habibi bringing that down. Did they use the jewels? They didn't actually have enough mana. That would have been a nice little extra bit of 10 damage or 14 damage. Should have happened. The screen comes in. Habibi goes down really quickly. Chelsea taking the world of damage, finding another tier 1, but the overwhelming odds doing so much work. The Void doing so much damage. Can he pick up a lot of kills? C1 needs to jump forward. Can he find Bob Yules? He doesn't. He's trying to jump through the trees and he can't. Bob Yules getting out of there. So ACG going down as well though. And wow, that was super close. Conspiracy living through that as well. I mean, that Void catching out the 3 heroes there.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, if there was just a little bit less mana.
If Necro was around and he just popped out his death pulse.
Yeah. Or even just a little bit less mana on the Queen of Pain, and they could have been a lot more trouble. But I mean, they still got the Scythe down on the Queen of Pain. They're shutting ACG down pretty well, and Anti-Mage being involved in the kills can also help him with experience. And his Battle Fury is going to be up in a pretty decent time, considering that he was going into an aggro tri lane.
No, which is going to be really, really good for the side of VN. The question is, do APG have the answers to deal with Ian at the moment? I mean, Chelsea, he's got himself the Blink Dagger, really good initiation at the moment. That's all he needs for this point in time. In the sidelines here, Habibi spots out Bob Yules, going to fly over the trees, and Bob Yules going to get cogged out. There's the battery assault. O'Malley running in, trying to help out his teammates. The pit being faked, he's going to drop it now. We're going to lose Bob Yules to the duel from Chelsea, and now there comes out the TP. Can he actually get out? And he will. O'Malley surviving by the skin of his teeth, and APG falling apart a little bit over there. Going to open up the top tier 1 here for the side of EN. As they are starting to take objectives. Top tier 1 done and almost dusted. Mid tier 1 done.
Yeah, bot lane, they dropped the wards here, but I don't think they're going to get the tower. All it's going to be is a whole bunch of gold into C1's pocket.
Well, I mean, he's really close now to Battlefield. It's a little bit late, I would say.
Has been denied.
I think, yeah, I mean, we got to consider the situation he found himself in, right?
Yeah, a little bit late, but I mean, considering that the situation he was in, it's really, really good timing still for the anti-mage.
Yeah. He went treads as also, I mean, he wasn't greedy at all, realizing he might want these stats because he realized he's got a jungle a little bit early, and that definitely helped him out. So, I mean, he's got it pretty much now, 17 minutes, that's fine. He's going to very quickly escalate his farm. Yes, it's not perfect or anything of that sort, but C1 will be happy with that. But Chelsea going to find himself yet another kill. Was that a duel? Yeah, second duel for him, finding O'Malley by the Ancients over here. Man, they definitely know there's a ward here now, surely. So that, but it's actually going to time out, so if it does come with the D ward, it's big positives.
Oh, they're going to draw out a sentry for no reason, as that observer does go down. Chelsea does have his blink, so he's going to be quite a threat at the moment. If he starts getting those duels continuously, he's sitting on like plus 20 already. Chelsea's going to be smiling at this point in the game.
Yeah, Chelsea is he's definitely in a pretty good position. He's was left in a 1v1 lane where he won pretty comfortably, got 2 kills over onto the Underlord, and so I just think, I feel like APG, I mean, Energy are in a pretty comfortable position right now, at least for their laning stage. They'll be happy with its outcome. And the side of APG, I mean, they went for the risky sort of, tried to shut down Anti-Mage. It didn't work out. They still have an opportunity to pull this back, but it's going to be a lot of work.
Now, with the Necro on the field, generally we see items like the Lotus Orb, Lincolns. How far until those items start taking effect where Strike's Reaper will start doing nothing? I mean, we're 18 minutes into the game. You generally want to go against those items that can debuff the Reaper. Do you see it being a while till it takes place?
I don't think they can really do much about Strike. Right.
Top lane, though, hookshot comes in. Finds ACG trying to get away. He can't. The Reaper comes in, and ACG goes down. The Reaper South is just absolutely ridiculous. The Queen of Pain completely not allowing her to get away. But here comes the relocated from Oju. He's going to bring in his teammate Chelsea. Chelsea rocks up to the party, and now Bob Yule's in a little bit of trouble. They don't have anything to stop him, and he's going to be able to get out of there.
Yeah. So. I mean, that's fine. Still another kill going the way of Strike. He's going to have that Rod of Atos pretty soon. So, yeah, he'll be pretty happy with that. C1's now got his Battle Fury. He's heading for that Yasha into the Manta style. And he's going to quickly run away from this Troll net. Troll's still sort of keeping up with him, but that's only for now. He's going Shadowblade, or he's completed a Shadowblade, just needs to fly that out to himself. But he's heavily reliant on finding kills, and pretty much energy just need to make sure they don't give any kills away, and then Anti-Mage can easily just outscale him as the game progresses.
What kind of items are we expected to see on the Anti-Mage? The normal build, Battle Fury, Manta, etc., or do we see something a little bit different to try and deal with the Troll? Maybe Basher, Abyssal, something like that?
I think he's still going to go Basher, Abyssal, but that will be probably after the Manta style. It's just pretty much the usual, I imagine. I can't think that he needs anything else. I mean, Ags is okay. I don't see too many massive uses of it, but bot lane, actually big trouble here for the Legion Commander. Finally, a kill might go their way, and ACG is going to say, you know what, I'll just take that one with that Sonic Wave. And yeah, he definitely needs it. He needs to get that Lincoln Sphere up as soon as possible, but Necro going to find himself a kill in the top lane onto O'Malley, and C1 was going to be part of that one too, so he even gets a lot out of that. He's actually finished his Yasha. He's quickly getting ahead here.
I mean, you had Chelsea being taken down in the bot lane by the enemy team. Top lane, you had O'Malley taken down. It just seems the teams are kind of splitting each other up. The root comes out from Strike and not going to be able to do anything further there. The ACG can't blink out of Strike, as the Rod of Atos does hold them in place for that moment.
Yeah, so that's largely the reason for the Rod of Atos. The Rod of Atos is such a good item actually on the Necrophos. We've actually seen everyone build it, but in this game in particular, it's just so good up against the Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain just has no form of escape. He's forced to, it's also going to pop his Lincolns once he does have that online, so ACG is going to be constantly under this sort of form of pressure that he needs to be extremely aware of his surroundings.
You know, she is actually building the Lincolns, and the Rod of Atos is going to help out so much. Is this going to force another player to pick up a Lincolns so they can actually double Lincolns her? Is that potentially the play? Because, or is it BKB? Do you just go straight BKB so the Reaper does nothing?
Well, the thing is, Reaper is still going to hold you in place for that period of time. So BKB also doesn't work well up against Legion Commander. He can deal you through the BKB. It's sort of, it's really difficult decision to make for the Queen of Pain. I think the Lincoln Sphere is absolutely necessary here, but well,
that thought though, Hookshot comes out, doesn't find Conspiracy. He does manage to go invis, and Habibi left holding, left wanting, as Conspiracy gets himself out of there.
Yeah, they had no dust there, so maybe there was a chance that he gets away. But I think now they know that Troll has Shadowblade. Dust should be on hand for the Clockwork almost instantly.
Look at the scary net worths. Anti-Mage sitting top of the charts, followed by the Troll, and then Strike on the Necro. Things are looking pretty good for Ian at the moment. Got 2,000 gold above, and XP, same story, 6,000 advantage for Ian as well. So Ian looking pretty good at this point in time. They've got APG, got a little bit of catching up they need to do here. The question is, can they do it? I mean, we heard the panel say Troll can't go up against an anti-mage late game. Do you believe?
One of the things is Troll can still sort of fight into anti-mage. If he gets a couple of lucky bashes, he doesn't need mana for that once he's got his ulti off. and potentially gets those Berserk Rage. But, I mean, Anti-Mage is not your only concern. This Necrophos is also doing pretty well. He's got Atos, he can control you in the fight if you don't have BKB. And Anti-Mage is more than likely not going to look to take a fight with the Troll. He's going to rather split push and do what Anti-Mages do. So I definitely think that there's a big trouble here for the Troll. I think they need a couple of fights to go their way before they can get much. But looking for the trade here, tier 2 for tier 2, I think APG will be pretty happy with that. They still got Serpent World, so if they do need to go high ground, they will, but TPing out.
Well, here comes the Uber ride. They're going to clear out the tower. They're going to get themselves top. And it's going to be enough to actually defend that tier 2 as well as Ian get themselves out of there.
Yeah, really, really nice work there. So they actually didn't even make a trade. They took down the town. Their tier 2 still got half HP. So APG will be happy with this, but do need to find a way to either shut down Anti-Mage or constantly get these better trades and find objectives, secure Roshan for themselves, and sort of make Anti-Mage have to push outside lanes instead of sort of maybe assist his team in finding objectives.
Conspiracy getting pinged out by Phalanx. You take him 100 gold, buddy. That sentry cost me 100 gold, and you went and you took it.
Yeah, I see multiple pings. Oh, actually, that was the enemy that pinged on him there. So they know that there's more than just one in the top lane. Yeah, BB and Chelsea. Whoops.
Oh, he jumps in, gets the jewel, uses Blade Mail. Conspiracy in a lot of trouble, throws out the Illuminate and the Reaper just to make sure that he does go down. They're jumping forward. They're trying to look for O'Malley as C1 is trying to jump forward. There comes the Mana Leak. O'Malley's going to get blinding lighted out. It's going to be stunned. There is the root. Chelsea TPing out, trying to defend the mid lane against ACG. He's going to have to get himself out of there as they lose 2 for the side of APG. And Energy on top of things, defending left, right, and middle.
Yeah, the net worth charts are going to start to spiral very quickly at this stage of the game. As now the Mantis Star is complete on the Anti-Mage, and even the Necrophos doing extremely well. Can purchase up that Blink Dagger now, and with that extra bit of mobility, he's going to be able to control up these heroes. So they're going to finally get this tier 2 tower, and yeah, Energy are definitely in the more comfortable position. Yeah,
the pound seats. Anti-Mage doing, they just, you know, it scares me with an Anti-Mage is when you get to this point, you can flash farm a jungle so quickly. It's absolutely ridiculous. And now with the jungle being upgraded, you can pretty much clear out a entire jungle within a minute, get the camps respawn, and rinse and repeat and continuously do that. And you can see the amount of gold and how it's showing. 14.5k gold for the Anti-Mage already.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well. He, like I said, he caught up extremely well. So C1, he's got the Basher flying in for him now. So now actually these fights with the Troll could potentially favor him. It's going to be heavily reliant on RNG. I think there is a better chance for the Bash on Troll. I think actually just because of his higher attack speed. So that is something we'll keep an eye on. Yeah, it's actually a higher chance on the Skull Bash if I'm correct. But yeah, we'll see. The trades are actually going to be interesting from now, and I think C1's happy with fighting here. He's so far ahead right now, and I don't think they have any answers. The only read that they can really utilize on him is Pitamalis, but big fight now.
Oh, they're going to try and catch out Chelsea. There's the net. Strike does get the kill onto Conspiracy. They do take down Chelsea, and they may be looking for more. The pings come out to try and run to the shrine, and they lose good old Chelsea, but they do take down Conspiracy. So still a worthy trade. Let's have a look at how the net worths changed. It actually went in favor of APG though, but they did lose the call for the side of APG. They're looking for more. The side of APG sitting in the sidelines, keeping themselves on out of there. And Bob Buell's flying to the back lines, and there comes out the TP.
Yeah, he should get himself on out here with no real issues, but again, they found the kill onto the Troll, so he's not farming in this period of time. They're just going to be heavily reliant on this Queen of Pain, who was forced to go for a defensive item in that of the Lincoln Sphere, so he's not really doing a tremendous amount of damage. Could potentially get a kill on Odie here, but...
Well, the hook shot is up on Habibi. Does he try it? ACG throws out the Shadow Strike. He's going to try and TP out. Does Habibi get in there? And he goes in for it, drops the cog. There's the Lincolns, and ACG is going to be able to TP out. And a couple of things going awry there for Ian. Jewel being Lincoln popped. Hookshot was good, but now it is going to be up to Chelsea to find something to break that Lincoln's to ensure that Jewel goes off.
Yeah, I wonder if they didn't realize that he had Lincolns there, or they had nothing to pop it anyway. They had nothing to pop it, so like I suppose you just duel him. I don't know.
Pick up an urn, perhaps.
Urn doesn't pop, unfortunately. So it has to be a 4-staff or eels to really pop it. So maybe that's something Habibi can look into. 4-staff is definitely an item that.
Oh, well, sneaky shenanigans are happening. The flare comes in. They know this is happening. Can EN do anything to stop this? They can't. And Conspiracy picks up the Aegis. They're going to make their way out. And Energy a little bit too slow to find out what's exactly happening. But Conspiracy Troll does pick up the Aegis. Let us not forget that if Energy do not win this game, it's going to go to game 3. And if Energy do win, we say goodbye to APG that have fought and brawled their way to this point.
Yeah, but they're still king of the lower brackets. Here's a stat coming out. Chosen One in the tournament has amassed 108 kills, 28 deaths. Wow, that's an incredible stat.
A KD of 6.64. That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have probably, with those kind of stats, you'd probably see Anti-Mage in every single game. Now, I mean, for the last couple of patches,
Chosen, I think it wasn't that just Chosen One? I think Chosen One's Anti-Mage, right?
Was it just Chosen One's Anti-Mage?
Yeah, that's...
Well, still, I mean, Anti-Mage is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it truly is, and pretty scary. And Bob Yules, I don't think they're going to do this. He's got backup anyway.
He's got himself the Solar Crest, ACG the sidelines here, but the route does come out. Shadow Shaman's been spotted out. ACG gets cogged out. Battery Assault tries to work on ACG. He gets the Sonic Wave off. The Lincolns is there, but the Jewel is good. The Reaper comes out and smashes apart. Good old ACG. Now we do lose Habibi. Conspiracy still does have the Aegis. The route does come down. The Aegis is popped. Balix trying to get himself out of there. And the call is to try and get done what they can. C1 going to try and run away. He blinks away. Strike going to also blink away as APG are looking, but they're not going to find, and not going to find that. And voices in my ear say that was a 9.1 KDA for Chosen One on the Anti-Mage. So that was a general AM stat. Chosen One's Anti-Mage is 9.1.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, Chosen One is... He's pretty comfortable on this hero, we can say, at least, from the stats that have been brought to us. But at the same time, APG, big trouble here. Duel going to be banned. And this should be the demise of the Troll, at least. Yes, it's going to be a winner-winner, but it will be the tumble of the Legion. Now, C1 looking for a little bit more. Does get the bash down. O'Malley should go down. And Bob Yules is going to say, I'm having none of this, boys. I'm out of here. He is the last man standing for his team. Looking for the TP. Is there a way to cancel this? I don't... Oh! Close one, but... no cigar.
Oh, that was close. Oh, baby, oh, baby. A couple of seconds on that, and that could have actually ruined Bob Yules' life. That would have been a full 5-man team wipe, Mr. Scorpion.
Yeah, that could have been a 5-man team wipe, but alas, it's not. And C1, he's comfortable. He's got Abyssal complete now. I think he just wins every fight up against Troll at this current stage. So that opportunity Troll had to sort of slow the Anti-Mage down and give his team a chance is the window is passing by, and buildings are going to tumble very, very quickly. Bobby was trying to keep the lanes pushed out at least. He's doing a good job at this, so they have to sort of back themselves on out, collect their creep wave before they can really look for any more objectives.
So Bob Yules forcing out the rotations from EN, forcing them back into lane. He does have himself the Solar Crest. Going to be a big, a decent item for the side of APG. A little bit of an extra arsenal or weapon in their arsenal that APG will have to use. Still a lot of threats in terms of single targeted spells. I mean, a couple of them have a rod of Atos. We have 4 staffs. We have Abyssal Blades. Everything to go through that Lincoln's just to deal with ACG.
Yeah, that's one of the things, right? There's just no good item here for ACG to keep himself alive. It's going to be purely reliant on his positioning and making sure his team is aware of what's happening. O'Malley, teething himself on out here. He'll get away safely, and nothing too bad going to come from that. But tier 1 tower should go down. Actually, 1 TP in here. Someone wrapping around the back, though.
Oh, they're going to try and find Odu. The dagger comes out. The Batman flies, but they're going to actually just back off. They realize that half, or let's say 3/4, 4/5 of Ian's team is in the vicinity, and they're going to get themselves the hell out of there.
I like that APG went to defend this tier 1 tower. You can sort of view it as a extra glyph at the later stages of the game for their high ground. So if they can, they will have multiple glyphs. Of course, you can glyph the tier 1 tower, and then if it does fall, you have another glyph left. So if they use glyph for high ground purposes, and then the tier 1 falls, they have a secondary glyph to slow down that potential push. So this is should be an objective for the side of Energy.
Well, Chelsea, I want to take a look at Chelsea's items really quick. Gone very much utility build. He's got himself the 4-staff, Blink, Blade Mail, and now he's got the Shadow Blade ready to be purchased. Worried about the side of APG not building into those damage items, but rather a lot more mobility, sneaky, kind of James Bond kind of build?
So you touch on the Chelsea build. I just want to go on that a little bit more. The 4-staff is solely to pop the Lincolns. So if he's alone and he catches the Queen of Pain, he pops that Lincolns with the 4-staff and gets the duel off. So he should just Q command those. Looking on the side of APG, they sort of forced into these items that they have. There is, I think Blink Dagger would have been pretty nice here for Troll, but the Silver's Edge is still quite decent. You can sort of control Anti-Mage a little bit.
Who do we break on? Troll does have Silver's Edge, so who does he open up on?
Anti-Mage.
Just for the mana break?
Yeah, just for his spell shield.
A spell shield.
And the mana break, so so that at least the Queen of Pain can get a decent amount of damage down on him. So it's pretty useful there. And then he has to hope for a bash, because then you can sort of set up for your team to do enough damage to the Anti-Mage. So we'll see if that happens, or comes to fruition at least.
There it goes.
Oh, a lot of responsibility is going to lie on the shoulders of Phalanx. Can he do enough to actually disable out the Anti-Mage from getting away, from running away from the onslaught of APG? Let's take a look at what Phalanx has at the moment. Only a 4-staff, and just chilling here in the sidelines, in the trees, having a picnic.
Yeah, this is some entertaining things to watch in the top lane, though. Chelsea's hiding in the trees, constantly waiting for ACG, but ACG, I think he's aware of what might come. Ooh, he might. No, okay. Wow. Yeah, Chelsea realizes, okay, my team's so far away from me, I've got to get myself out of here. And fair enough.
That would have been one of those sneaky little plays, like maybe I jump on it, maybe I don't. And as an aggressive player like Chelsea, it must have taken a lot of restraint to actually not jump.
Yeah, I think he was doing a whole bunch of calculations, and it's just not worth it. I mean, they're ahead. There's no reason to just die for no reason. So,
according to my calculations, 44.26% is that I will fail.
Yeah,
that's probably what his net result was.
I think he would have taken it if that was the odds. I think he's like, my team is so far away there. Like, there's no way for him to get out. But alas, I mean, Energy, they're still pretty happy. APG doing a good job here at the bot with O'Malley to keep the lanes pushed out. The Anti-Mage is ridiculously farmed. One of the big things is just lack of vision from both teams. So both teams doing a pretty good job. There is a Gem of True Sight on the Keeper of the Light to control that, and I think Nightstalker has queued his one out for himself, so they're going to look to control this vision. So I expect both teams to be pretty blind.
Well, Nightstalker has got his Ags, and like you said, picking up that gem, it's just going to increase that vision. And poor Mr. Odu going to really suffer with it constantly being nighttime or nighttime for majority of the time. If you could see the radius of the Kotl's vision during the daytime, you would actually be super sad that there's a Nightstalker in the game.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. He's still going for the Ags though. It's fun, I think. The Nightstalker, unless he builds Octarine Core, which would be really... Oh, actually...
Oh, Bob Yules. He's going to find out Odu, silences him up, immediately drops the ward on the higher ground.
Oh.
And what's happening here? They don't actually have any vision.
Surely not. Oh, he's waiting for him to try TP. Oh, this is actually... Oh, he's actually relocating someone in? Yeah? So they realize now Odu's bringing someone in. and that's going to be C1, and they say, oh, okay, they actually had vision onto that. Yeah,
Radiant's bottom tower is
that
under
was
attack.
pretty cheeky, but bot lane actually,
are fortified.
they're doing a pretty good job here. The Serpent Wards have been dropped.
Oh, the hook shot comes in. Habibi finds out Phalanx. He gets sheeped out, and Phalanx going to try and do what he can. So the kill does go to C1. So getting himself a nice little kill there. And no more further kills. APG get themselves out of there, and they get themselves into a safer position.
Yeah, tier 3 tower took a lot of damage though, so Phalanx will be more than happy with trading his life for that one. Yeah, he gave away a decent amount of gold for the Serpent Wards, but I mean, the fact is Anti-Mage can farm that in the jungle, so the fact that they made this trade, I feel it's definitely worth his while. Anti-Mage has got Butterfly now, oh man. As well as MKB flying in soon, so he's just doing a tremendous amount of damage. Identifying that there is a solar crest up on the Night Stalker, so it's more than likely the reasoning for building the MKB from here.
Well, something that we haven't really spoken about this weekend is, I haven't seen it too much, perhaps you have, is stacking of Ancients. I haven't really seen too much of it take place, at least in this game. In previous games, have you potentially?
Yeah, I think earlier today there were a couple of really big stacks, so that were used up. But yeah, I mean, a lot of teams are focusing on fighting and finding objectives. They're not looking to fall back and farm up items. They farm up heroes instead.
But when you've got an anti-mage, that's someone that likes to be in the jungle, the troll that likes to farm up the jungle, teams not actually getting that done.
I think this game, the fact that they had to babysit C1 for such an extended period of time, the Sports didn't really have an opportunity to stack for him.
And then looking in the top lane though, Chelsea gets spotted out, the Blade Mail's out, he's going to try and TP out, but it gets cancelled out by Mr. Bob Buell's taking a little bit of damage here. He's probably going to go down ACG, he's not going to find the better of it. And they do get the rotation in from Odu, and Bob Buell's going to TP himself out. Not enough here for the side of Ian to stop that.
Yeah, so that's a pretty good trade. Finding the kill onto Chelsea there, who is still doing pretty well for himself. 66 damage, dual victory, apologies, won by him. So he's in a pretty cozy position, and then finding a kill onto him there will be pretty good for them. But I mean, this anti-mage is 26k net worth. Second net worth is 16k. That's a 10k difference. And that second net worth is on his team. So it's a problem. This is a big problem for them to deal with.
But just have a look at the net worths at the moment. I mean, the net worths are only sitting in the excess of 7.5, so pretty much Troll's difference is the net worth.
Yeah, I think the Legion's not really farmed. He's still got dual damage though, so we can sort of view 66 plus damage. If you transfer it into gold, he's in a pretty decent place, but he's pretty much creating space. That's really his job here for Chosen One, which they'll be very happy with. I mean, once Chosen One gets his 6th item, I think they just go high ground from there. And now finding Aegis, they might even just go high ground with this. They actually found out an illusion there, so they should know that Roche is happening. This could potentially be a fight here, or not. APG actually going to push up the lanes instead.
It's happening really quickly. There's not enough time for APG to do anything about it. Cheese is on the deck while this is all happening. APG might want to abuse the bot lane here. They do drop the Veil, and ACG just going to get himself closer to that bottom tier 3 tower. And this potentially could be the call for Ian to push up high ground. They're going to send Chelsea into the bot, going to try and clear it out. Chelsea doesn't have BOTs. They're going to actually call for the retreat as Phalanx gets in there, drops the snakes. They may actually be able to get the tier 3. Yeah, they're going to clear out Phalanx at least, and they're going to lose the tier 3. So sacrificing a Phalanx for a tier 3?
Well, I mean, when you in this sort of position and you get a high ground objective and you trade your lowest net worth, any day of the week, I'm sure they're very happy with that trade. And it also buys a lot of time for them. Mid lane.
Rod of Atos being used out. Bob Buell's in a lot of trouble. This is Gem on the deck as C1 avoids him to smithereens. And ACG and Conspiracy in the bottom lane. They do have a TP on Troll. ACG going to be able to do some work here to Habibi. Habibi is in Viz. Can he actually survive through it? And he gets blown up and he goes down.
It looks like they might even go for a little bit of a trade here. Conspiracy, they'll be very happy with this. They found a Rax Oh, good lift, but they're still going for the mid lane here. C1 will find that, but they don't really want to race into an anti-mage. Rotations have come in. Conspiracy will be able to keep himself one out. And still pretty good for Energy. They found a Rax, and they lost the tier 3 while they had Aegis up. Oh, ACG.
No, really good for APG. In the meantime, ACG being spotted up by C1. They do lose Kotzel, and now ACG needs to get himself out of there. C1, does he decide to continue to run in? They do have Conspiracy and O'Malley in the backlines that can help out ACG should it be needed. They lose Odu. I think that is a gem on the deck. Did they pick it up?
Yeah, 2 gems on Anti-Mage right now, so I'm sure he's dropping those for his Battle Fury and his Treads. But yeah, I think Anti-Mage, he's still more than likely got a long way to go. He's got his BKB. He still can potentially replace his Battle Fury later on if necessary. So he's 6-slotted, and we'll see where he opts to go from here. But I think they will want to maybe make use of this Aegis sometime soon.
Well, they've got, they lost Odu in that fight. They, APG did an amazing job. They took out the one racks, the one building of the bottom racks. I feel that APG definitely won that little engagement there, and if they continue to do that, slowly break down Ian's defenses, they could be in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you there. I think Energy had a poorer trade there. They got a tier 3 tower. They had Aegis up. They still have Aegis up though, so they could potentially still make use of it, but they didn't really find much there. But now looking towards the top lane, Queen of Pain, he's out of there. ACG. Spider senses, they're tingling, and he'll walk that one off.
C1 almost trying to find out ACG. Nowhere close, but still making his way out. It's going to clear out the top lane. While that's all happening, we do have Phalanx up to his shenanigans once again. We call this strat the split pushing Shadow Shaman.
Yeah, we saw this in the last game. Phalanx was sort of doing this push out a wave, hide in the trees. I think they know what he's doing, but I can see a big arrow drawn on the map here. Let's go and take this Rax, guys. Like, I've got Aegis. Let's go, go, go.
Let's just leave what's going on. They're going to leave Odu in the bot lane. No, they're going to actually TP back. They're going to defend this. I think they're going to play super aggressive here just to make sure they clear it out. Phalanx, he's now running. He knows that Ian's on the way. The blink comes in from C1. The Abyssал's down, and he has popped Manta. Phalanx needs to get himself out of there. 4 staffs out. The pings come in for ACG. The cogs are there. They clear out Phalanx. There comes the Reaper. And ACG going to be able to get himself a little bit further away. But it may not be enough. The Lincoln says pop. The blink comes in. But C1 not being able to find ACG is going to go in the tree lines and TP himself out of there. And only bringing down Phalanx, getting a full EN rotation back to the bot lane. And now these two boys here are going to start putting pressure here on the mid lane. Conspiracy going to start pushing that down, put some damage on that tier 2.
Yeah, can't emphasize this enough. Still not bad trade for Energy. Yes, they lost the Shadow Shaman, but the time ticking away on the Aegis of Immortality is going to help them, so it's going to slow down that potential push. But I mean, I don't know if having extra time is completely in their favor, but they're in such a position that any sort of good trade is going to help them out no matter what. So they're still holding on to their high ground. They haven't lost this tier 2 tower. It's going to take a decent amount of damage now. Ooh, this TP by O'Malley. No one has vision on him, fortunately. That could have been very scary if someone had a ward there, but Chelsea's in this area. Actually,
oh, they just walked straight into O'Malley. Yeah. Here comes the fire. C1's there. The jewel's there. Is it enough to bring him down? He's a tanky little beast. They do drop him. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, says Chelsea. Bob Yule's hiding on the high ground. Doesn't want to be a part of it. And Habibi, does he manage to spot him out with the flare? He's sitting here on the sidelines. Bob Yules knows exactly what's going on. The flare comes out. Do they actually manage to spot him? The pings do come out. In the meantime, Strike getting the kill onto Conspiracy. That is a decent kill. The pings come in. They've lost Shoal. The buyback is available. The pings are coming in. Chosen One blinking into the mid lane. Going to try and clear down the mid lane of Rax. The TP, the buyback. Is it going to be enough? They've taken down the one. Phalanx gets Abyssalled up. There's the BKB. He doesn't have Manta. He's going to get blown up. And Bob Yules goes down as well. They lose a BB. There's the blinding light. And in the meantime, the Aegis is down. And Strike gets the kill on good old Phalanx. He goes down as well. 3 dead for the side of EN. Good defense from APG. They do lose the one Rax. They did take down the melee racks, the important racks, but the buybacks are available should the side of APG decide to push in. And all that for losing a Phalanx and a Bob Yules.
It was also a buyback on the troll though, so that's something that we should be aware of. But again, it was a good high ground defense. Aegis is now timed out, so they're going to be aware of this. And this is going to slow down the push from Energy just a little bit longer. It gives an opportunity now, at least for APG, to try and win fights, even though they may be unfavorable. If it just goes their way, it could turn things around very quickly. The game of Dota is a fickle thing, my friend. And
it's a brutal game.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, Energy, I think Energy are not going to take too big a risk.
C1 finds ACG. There's the Abyssal. Odu's in the surrounding areas. Do they have enough?
Bash.
He gets the bash. ACG in a lot of trouble. Is it going to be enough to bring him down? And they smash ACG apart. That is a big kill for the side of Energy. Wow, all their split pushing potential gone to smithereens.
Oh man, that feels pretty bad when you get hit with a bash like that while you're TPing out.
You got to risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah, I think there was no other way for him to really get out. His blink was too short of a cooldown. If he maybe got to the other side of the cliff, he would have had a better shot.
That would have been a solid blink. But now, Conspiracy and Odu in the same vicinity. Conspiracy doesn't spot the leopard hunting the Conspiracy. This is where the old man Kotl is going to solo take down the Conspiracy. Let's hold us on, see what happens.
He's going to TP someone in, right?
Yeah. There he goes. C1 jumps in. Going to smash apart Conspiracy. This is a big problem here for them. ACG does have buyback, and this may very well be an opportunity for EN to start pushing into the bot lane as Chelsea is pushing into the top.
Bot lane, O'Malley, he might be in some trouble next. First hit bash.
Bash coming out, the pit is there. O'Malley, can he get away? C1 blinks in. Gonna get the jewel off. Chelsea in the vicinity. O'Malley, you are down. Winner for Chelsea. And things are starting to fall apart for APG. Things are really looking good for EN in the mid lane though. Phalanx in trouble. There comes the Reaper. They lose the Shadow Shaman. 4 down for APG. EN looking unstoppable at this point in time. This may be the moment where we say goodbye to APG and EN getting themselves through this competition even further and meeting the other teams in the finals as Chosen One starting to hit down the ranks. Strike gets in there. The Lincolns is not available for ACG. C1, can he continue up? The Sonic Stream comes in. Is there any bash available? And it's not. GG has been called. And APG will be going home. Hearts and tears out for the boys. But well played to EN.
Oh man, it's heartbreaking to see APG go. They did so well in the lower bracket, and they've done a hell of a good job at this tournament. But very sad to see them go. But Energy going through the good old Habibi and Odu. Maybe can they do this again? Find their way back.
I am so glad to see the duo play Odu and Habibi. They dominated the previous MGO BVD. Now they're with Energy, and you can see the strength of what these boys are bringing to the party. Well done to Energy. They get to move on. Guys, this has been an absolute cracker of a game, cracker of a series, and it's been an absolute pleasure to cast this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe we have one more game to go after this into the evening. So everyone, if you just can keep your seats, you can still stay and watch the final game. So
I believe it is going to be a best of one. WRG XTC going to be one of the top 2 teams going head to head and to see who goes out next. But it is going to be goodbye from myself, Jabba and Scarpy. It has been a real honor and pleasure. But off to the panel.
Thanks, Jabba, and thank you, APG. It's been an absolute pleasure hosting you yet again, and I believe this panel and quite a few out there owe them an apology. Because having gone out now means they have, for the second time, come fourth.
Yep.
Meaning they remain still, basically, the kings of the lower bracket. And you have to go through them. So they are ultimately the gatekeepers of our South African Dota 2 scene.
Basically, yeah. I think they exemplify the idea of tier 1.5, where they're not tier 1-1-1, but they're definitely not tier 2. So you can't consider yourself a great team until you can beat them.
Until you can beat them.
You know, they they are. Look, they themselves are talking about consistency. We've all been discussing the consistency of APG, but the results-wise, it's still relatively consistent. They don't look as dominant, but they're placing more or less the same, which is kind of weird to think about, where you thought they'd be winning by now. Yeah. It's not, but still, it's not terrible for them. So I think they did a great job this tournament.
Yeah, and I agree with you fully. My only issue with APG was seeing them a year ago to seeing them now and seeing what they have been doing at normal conventional matches. It felt extremely inconsistent, and I just felt like this time around at this LAN there were some teams that were just more solid than they were, and like they proved us wrong. They did what they did last event, and they came fourth. Obviously they want to come top 3 at least, but I mean securing 4th place from, again, fighting your way through this day wasn't easy for them.
No. And I think for me the best part about APG was Conspiracy.
Yeah.
Looked extremely shaky in the first game. But as the tournament progressed, game after game, you got better, you got more solid. Like even in this game, sure you're playing against Anti-Major Shoal, it's a super hard job for you, but he did everything you could reasonably be expected to do with the hero. So he made, actually I can't think of any mistakes he's made since this morning, actually, that I can say, alright, this was a mess up.
Yeah,
let's be honest, O'Malley's been playing a spectacular game all round. Sure, there's a few errors here and there, but all round, guys.
He has been playing well.
You can actually see his clockwork, but he still played amazingly.
For me, my MVP, what do you think? My MVP would have been Phalanx, just because he did the, I think he did the feed and dive, create space for your team.
He really did create space, but I think I'd take my hat off more to Conspiracy, to agree with you, going back to that guy. Because, I mean, he's essentially what we would say a pub star, right? He's not known that much in the LAN scene or the professional scene in South Africa, but he is a respected player. I mean, you still don't want to face him in a pub game or a ranked game or whatever it is. But
this might be the moment we start defining him as the gatekeeper.
Like I said, there's a lot of undiscovered people sitting there playing pub games, not able to join a team yet, and Conspiracy could be one of them. This is his first time on LAN, and he has had quite impressive showing. He made some critical mistakes. There's some things you can see is still amateur about him, but it's because it's his first time at LAN. But I think he held up really, really well.
And speaking of things impressive, we have an impressive giveaway coming up for the boys on stream, so do stay tuned. As for everybody else, I think Gareth has a few words for you.
I'm back here with Chelsea from Energy, who were a little bit happier, I think, with that performance than in the game previously. We spoke about the draft last time and the lessons you'd learned in that mistake, that game you lost. Applied a bit more in this game?
Yeah, definitely. I think the drafts in both games were okay. Although the first game, to be honest, I think I misdrafted a little bit. That caused the game to go quite long, but definitely more happier. Yeah.
Interesting enough, Anti-Mage seems to be the carry of the tournament at this stage, and certainly chosen one, putting into good use.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's the only hero he can play, so we have to pick it every game.
Okay, so you're saying if we have to counter Energy, it's basically to ban all his heroes and just charge down safe lane?
Yeah, just ban Anti-Mage. Yeah.
Just ban Anti-Mage. Okay, so obviously you're going to get to watch XTC take on White Rabbit Gaming next to see who you're going to be facing. Any hopes as to who you want to be facing?
XTC, for sure, right? Yeah.
Well, I suppose you have to beat everyone to win this tournament at the end of the day. So whether you beat a team in the lower bracket finals or in the winners bracket final doesn't really matter. Being able to rest up though and get ready for tomorrow, obviously you guys get a chance to see your opponents and take stock.
Yeah, for sure. I'm so happy we get to rest now. I think we've been playing Dota for 4 or 5 hours straight now. So yeah, so happy that we get to go and rest. Yeah.
How much is that fatigue factor in? I mean, we spoke in the last game about how it's easier almost in that winners bracket to keep going, but you guys went from that 90-minute nail biter to have to go another 2 maps and then almost instantly back in the booth against APG.
Yeah, no, definitely tough. I don't know about the rest of my team, but I have I don't know, my arm is really sore, like a mild carpal tunnel, so yeah, my right arm is killing me. Yeah.
So I'm sure we'll back to the hotel for the masseuses. I know you gave Kaz some grey hairs there, losing that 1 map, so you'll be a little bit happier with this performance, and best of luck into the finals tomorrow. Cheers. Back to our panel now.
Hello and welcome to another episode of VS Gaming Smack Talk. I'm your host Ryan Mackay, and with me here is none other than Frank. Is that right, Frank? From Bravado Gaming. And here we have Chad from Aperture Gaming. How are you guys doing today?
Good, good.
Good?
Pretty good, yeah.
Very good. Guys, you know, we've all been in the space together, and you know, it is a safe environment for us to just, you know, talk, get stuff off our chests, and, you know, just kind of get it out there for the audience to see how we're feeling going into the next match. You guys will be facing each other in the next game, and who would like to start?
This is first.
Okay, all right. Well, there we go. What are you feeling right now?
Like a little bit upset. We were hoping Sin 5 would win, so we'd have a bit of a harder game. It's not very nice facing up a 4.8k mid player. That's partially why I left APG.
Wow. Some really harsh words there, but I mean, you know, we're talking about our feelings now. What do you have to say about that?
You know, I actually agree with them. I think if Bravado lose to us, I think they'll probably disband instantly. I think if the game's even remotely close, you're remotely close to the team and almost game dead last, and that shouldn't feel too good.
Wow. Well, guys, I think we have nothing left to do, but maybe I'm just going to take a step back. You guys know what to do from here, right? It's time to bro it. Oh, high fives are good too. Yeah, he's way bigger than I am.
I'm here with Philip from Aperture Gaming, unfortunately having been knocked out there by a fairly rampant energy. Obviously quite hard to lose those 90-minute games. It really is quite draining.
Yes, it's extremely draining, especially when you've been playing the whole day long. From the morning, our first game was about 10, 9:30-ish. So after a hectic 90-minute back and forth game, it's really, really hard to reset mentally and to be at the top of a game for the next one.
One thing, you guys got knocked into the lower bracket probably earlier than you would have expected yesterday. It seemed, though, that you came out all guns firing, almost a completely new team. What kind of locker room talk happened that sort of turned it all around?
I don't think there was any locker room talk. It's almost like when we're under pressure and we know there's nothing left to lose, we're at our best.
Is that kind of the APG playstyle, sort of fast and loose, almost last gun saloon is the place you want to be?
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate.
That one moment when you guys decided to go for top racks instead of perhaps pushing for throne, there was a rampant Huskar and Invoker, kind of like it just, I think, cleaned the entire Energy team up. And then the decision to go top racks, regretting now, or is it pretty academic?
I think it's just always the safe option to always go for the mega creeps first before you go for the throne. But often going for the safe option can be the game-losing one. So it's hard to say in hindsight, but we went for the safe option and it didn't pay out this time.
Unfortunately, it didn't, and you guys are also unfortunately home. But I think the guys can be very proud of the way they performed, particularly if you consider how yesterday was maybe a little bit disappointing, and then coming out today with a much better performance. So congrats to you guys, and obviously best of luck through the rest of the season. We are now back to our panel to take us through a preview of the next game.